So guys, I know Zach's been in the gym a lot recently. I've been trying to get back into it as well, trying to shed that pandemic weight. I'm just curious, are there any, celebrities that you follow and kind of try to do their workout routines? For instance, like Chris Hemsworth, Michael B. Jordan. I know we have no resemblance to those guys, but I've recently been trying to do a Michael B. Jordan. Well, you too, Ben.
Ben looks like a certain Star Trek actor.
That's right. Allegedly.
I will be honest, I have never, ever once in my life thought to look up a celebrity workout routine, so no. One,
they normally do involve
that's
steroids.
Odd. And two, because all those people get paid to do for a specific role is to get into that shape, and I have too much shit in my life to be doing like a full day routine like those guys, so
wow.
no.
Hearing a lot of excuses here.
Okay, well, who do you follow, Marco? Fucking guy.
So I think I was telling you guys, I looked up a Michael B. Jordan routine. Again, no resemblance to the guy. He and I could not be night or day different in terms of body type. But, I was trying it out, and I think I told you guys, the guy next to me was absolutely ripped. He wanted me to spot for him, and it took my self-esteem from maybe like a 8 to a 5 when I was leaving. But how about you, Ben?
So for me, if I could work out like Chris Hemsworth, I 100% would. He actually has his workout routine posted, and you can like pay for it and everything. But yeah, I don't have a routine that I follow from.
You have to pay for it?
Oh yeah. I think it's called Center.
That motherfucker's super rich, and you have to pay to get his workout routine.
That's a racket.
Hey, I mean, he looks pretty good. What can I say, boys? So, but no, I've just been kind of rocking my own routine lately, trying to go 4 to 5 days a week, and I've been feeling healthier. And I got to get shredded for Zach and Dean, because when I come to see them at OxCon in October,
we should go to JCPenney and take like portrait photos of all of us for
JCPenney.
I don't know where they take photos, but
I don't think they have those in Canada.
Dress up like handsome, it'd be real nice, real dapper.
I love
hanging
that.
out outside of the Gap.
What about one of those old-timey photos? That'd be cool.
Maybe a black and white, a little sepia. I look good in sepia.
How black?
What is it? Those old glamour shots, dude?
Yeah, we can go to the mall
too.
The
picture's like foggy for some reason.
Yeah, you're like
Marcos is over here, like
distance. Marcos is like, I'm taking this
regretting.
Back.
Yeah, he's like, why am I?
So Marco, as part of the workout, are you pulling like a plane like you did in Creed 3, or?
That's what I'm working up to, honestly. I'm probably about a week and a half away from that. So.
Wow, okay. Well, there you go. That's one way to get across the border.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Holy cow. My
You can't
God.
say that.
This guy.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought me a doll collection. These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Marco, enjoying the last show before Zach is canceled.
How dare you?
I'm Ben.
I don't know where I'm at.
There you go. Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's the weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to thank everybody watching wherever you're at, in TV land, podcast lands, whether on the replay or catching us live. Thank you.
Germany, Brazil. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that again. We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. We got Marcos, the sweet, sweet, handsome angel from Collectorzown, in the show tonight. We're going to announce some great stuff, and we're very excited to have him here. We also got some sweet angels in the chat. We got Toy Mafia, Lane, the Legend Kramer, Ben Thomas, Gotham Xenobites, 12-inch Moose Stream, hello, community of collectors, my Ahsoka converted, congrats, bro. Toy Mafia, Carlito, Cody J. Hay, D&D this weekend, boys. We also have Toy Cartel, King Dingaling, Chris Hemsworth's workout is killer, Edwin Diaz, Sam Giss. What's up, boys? Listening to you driving from Tucson to Laughlin for work. Thanks for the pick-me-up. Collectorzown in the chat. Equan says, Marco is the man. Welcome you with an awesome Facebook Messenger voicemail. Edwin Diaz, Eddie Aero Maestro. We also have King Ding saying here, the Murph challenge is 100 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, and a 10-mile run. I can't do any one of those, let alone all 4 of them. So how dare you? Erwin says, dealing with the flu right now, but I can't miss my weekly dose of CW. Poor guy. Hope you feel better. Jose Hernandez, Han, Pablo Meza, and look at Erwin says, Ox Poppy looking fresh. Thanks, my guy.
Hey, Zach. So I think Han there is
a
new friend of mine. And
okay.
I think I should get a channel raise because I'm bringing in the new subscribers. You'll love to see it. Just put it out there. Yeah,
I'm going to get a raise from $0.
What's more than 0? Yeah, I'll give you. Okay.
I'll take $1 a month.
Han, I guess Hannah.
Her name is Hannah. Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Welcome. From yours truly. We have a great show for you guys tonight. We have like a lot to talk about, like a lot of hot toys, almost too much hot toys. But Dean, before we get into all that, we have a very special segment that we start off all of the best shows with. One more time.
Oh, what the hell?
I muted you because your damn fridge is.
How dare you?
I should call you and ask if your fridge is running, and then tell you to go chase it because it is running.
You can hear it if it's running.
I can hear it. You're right.
Anyway, are you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah. Ow! What did you get new this week?
What a great start.
Toughie.
Yeah.
That's a toughie.
I didn't get anything new this week. It's all in the mail. So, what about you guys?
Dean, you look like Milhouse when you took the glasses off.
You really did.
Okay, let's calm down. What the hell's going on today?
Oh,
Jesus.
Freaking wild. Yeah, so this is me right here. I've got to say, the invoices have been coming in hot and heavy. I'm sure Marcos is probably like dealing with just moving so much inventory right now because everything has dropped all at once. So really nice week for me. Got the Scarlet Witch and got the Mando Luke Skywalker. So, these are older announcement at this point, right? Like these have been in the atmosphere for just a bit now. So couldn't wait for these ones. Finally arrived. Haven't opened Luke yet. Do have an Unreal Customs cape for him, but the Scarlet Witch is absolutely terrific. So yeah, I think everyone's eager to hear about that one. But yeah, so really awesome addition this week. And I will say my DeLorean is on the way as well. So excited to finally get to that one.
Congratulations.
Yeah, buddy.
What a haul. What a haul. If you want to unbox any of these on Monday, you let us know.
Sounds good. I think you already had a commitment for a Luke, but I may be in as well.
I'm down to double Luke, bro. Always down.
Double Luke. Okay, sounds good.
Ben, you beautiful guy, with your friend in the chat. What did you get?
So I bought myself for my birthday this year this Neo, and this is a figure for me that's been a chase figure for a pretty long time. I'd never really expected to find one, and surprisingly, it popped up in my Facebook Marketplace feed about a day before my birthday, which was exciting. It ended up being the same lady that I purchased my Punisher from a couple months earlier, so she actually recognized me and gave me a bit of a discount because I threw in there that it was my birthday, and she was like, "Oh, since it's your birthday, I think she knocked $50 off," which was really nice of her. So
that is nice. Wow.
Yeah, it was really nice of her. So I ended up picking this up, and I had an unboxing on the Ben Thomas show on June 1st. So if you guys missed that was a fun show with Zach as well as Marco. But I'm loving this. I'm loving this figure, guys. I mean, it's a beauty. So I haven't had much of a chance to actually pose it all that much yet. I haven't even swapped out a hand, nothing like that yet. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Once I get the new place and I can get my studio set up again, I'll be doing an official unboxing.
So is the lady a collector?
Her husband was, was, but he is moving into statues. So he's selling off his pieces. Wow. But I mean, he's got everything in there. Like he's even got what other grails did I see? I can't even remember now. What's the oh my god, it's on the tip of my tongue. The blue guy from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yondu.
Yondu, thank you. He is like a pristine Yondu, and I'm like, ooh, maybe, but I gotta save some money until I get the new place. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm loving this figure. I got a great deal. So
fantastic. I had a new this week, but I'm gonna save it for the Zach's Wonderland segment of the show. And with that, let's get into the news. We have Hot Toys. A little bit of a tease. I want to say it was Marco that said this might be a possibility, but they are showing us some of the different bat suits that we see in the Flash trailer. As much as people like Batman, I really don't think this is going to come to fruition. But they are all there, and there's little nameplates and everything, so maybe there's a chance. Dean, you think this is ever going to see the light of day for collectors?
100%. Only because they are totally out of Iron Man and Spider-Man's. Well, I guess with this new Spider-Man movie, maybe they got
and the game, Spider-Man game too, buddy. It's
I definitely they need a cash cow, and people love Keaton, so I totally see these actually coming out.
Yeah, I'm completely with Dean. I think that this is going to come out in one form or another. Either it's going to be like a display with some power pose, kind of, static statues basically, or they're actually going to go down the route of the PS4, PS5 Spider-Man game and just give us a bunch of Batman. Especially if this movie is really popular, right? If it breaks $1 billion, Hot Toys is salivating right now. They're ready to give us all the suits. I would say the standouts for sure are the blue Cal, right? I think we're going to talk about a blue not done so well. This is the one I think most people would want. And then also the one with the wings. I know there's kind of a name floating around for it, but that one looks killer, like very Art Deco. I would be very into that. So we shall see how the movie does and how many of these they give us.
Yeah, buddy. The wing suit to me is my least anticipated of all of these, and I think only because it's not uniform in height to the rest of them. So I think it would actually drive me a little on the bonker side trying to display them all together. A little bit of that OCD-ness maybe, but I think this is definitely going to see the light of day. Unlike what we saw with the N1 Starfighter, that thing was so large, it's not for everybody, whereas everybody can justify a figure. Now, will this come as individual figures? Will it be the power pose? Sure, those are great questions. I'm curious if we're going to see like a 7-pack. Now, I mean, maybe that's asking for too much. I already see Marcos like, no.
Shipping on that would be killer.
Can you imagine a
7-pack? Lately, Ben.
Oh, I know, yeah. I would be stoked about it, but at the same time, I don't see the practicality of that. I don't think it would actually make sense. I do think, though, that these are completed figures. I talked to Bretta a little bit about this the other day, and he's like, in order to have the suit like this, you have to have a body inside. So really, at this point, you're just kind of missing those mouth plates. I'll be curious to see if it's actually a full figure or not when we get them.
Wow.
You guys want a 7-pack. Don't even lie. I
see
you guys out there.
I'm dying if I'm lying. Marcos, what do you think about this?
I think... First, it looks awesome. I think it's 50-50, but I think Marco has it right. It just depends on the money. Depends if this movie does well. It's got to hit more than $1 billion. I mean, it's got to be really high for them to even go into it. And if these suits have some kind of I don't know, scene or something important in the movie that you can kind of justify making all of them. I don't see why you have to make all of them. They haven't even made the Flashes yet, right? So there's one or two or three Flash versions they haven't even touched yet. So I think it's 50-50. Is it possible? Maybe one or two of them, but a 7-pack, no, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
Mark this show. If we get a 7-pack, I'm coming for you, buddy.
You know how much, God, if I make a 7-pack, I'll be like, well, all these years, where's the accessory packs that could have just, stopped me from buying 2 or 3, figures instead of, no.
Yeah.
It's cash cow.
I think also with InArt on the horizon coming out with their Batman figures, Hot Toys is going to pump out as many suits as possible.
Yeah,
I don't see. That's the thing. I don't think there's. I hear that from all YouTubers. There is no competition, guys. You think that there is no competition. Hot Toys is in a different league, regardless. Now, quality is different, but pumping out, Hot Toys is their production has gone up. But again, I think what we're missing is the recession that's hitting Asia. That's something that I can see more maybe than consumers, but there's a big deal going on in Asia that they're not making as many things. There really aren't. And the reason you're getting all these, like Marco, like you were saying, like the DeLorean's coming and Scarlet Witch and all these are coming at the same time is because they need the money. They need it. Yeah. And I honestly think that's what it is. They're pumping them out as fast as they possibly can because they're trying to recover. Everything is correcting itself to 2019. So this is not the norm. things are just not normal, and I can feel it.
Have the other Keaton suits so far, like the '89 remake and then the modern suit, have those sold pretty well for you guys at Collectorzown?
Yeah. Those are really hot, right? But
Yeah.
let's say the Ben Affleck one, no. But it's not even the Ben Affleck one.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But there's a thing of the likeliness is not there because there is a reason why. But
sure,
yeah, that one hasn't hit yet. And even if the movie does come out, you're waiting for the movie to come out to see what significant, So we'll get there, I'm sure.
I'm almost wondering, Marco. I know with Hot Toys they've done. I don't remember if they were 1/12. I want to say they were 3 3/4, but they had that Hall of Armor Iron Man set, and then they had the Hall of Armor Spider-Man set in a much smaller scale. Do you think that that's perhaps an option for this release, or is that? I mean, they look like 1/6 scale, especially with all the fabric and everything. But I'm wondering if that could also be an alternative way to release these. Let's move on. Actually, we got a super chat from Bob Dillon. Shout out to Collectorzown at 1/6 kit vendors who offer all-in pricing and no surprises with high shipping invoices later. Truer words never spoken. I actually love that about your store. I don't have to add to cart and pretend to check out and waste 5 minutes. I could just see what I'm paying out the door, and I think there's certainly something special about that. Hot Toys has given us 3 SKUs here, or SKUs as Marco says. We have Batman. This is allegedly Affleck. The regular suit with a bike and with a bike by itself. The prices are $290 for just Batman, $665 for Batman with the bike. And if you just want the bike by itself, which I don't really know who just wants that, you can get it for $410. All of these released July to December 2024. Now, there's a lot to be said about this Batman, and I'm going to start off with the small base syndrome. He does come with the rock base on the left, which I think is pretty appropriately sized, but they give you this really neat Batman LED light up base, and then they make it like half the size that it should be, and I think it's kind of disappointing. I think that's a freaking fantastic base. If they had just made it twice as large, I don't know that you would need both bases. There's a lot to be said about the likeness. I'm not sure who this is supposed to be, and there's some theories that we'll bring up after everyone's given their takes. But low-hanging fruit, I would certainly agree with all of our peers in the YouTube community that this is not who it should be. It's just bad. And I think the blue is off too. Watching the trailer, it seems real dark. Real dark. And I don't know. I do like the armor though. I think it's an interesting armor. You got the weird sort of hexagon pattern throughout. There's a lot to like about the suit, but I think the color of the cowl and the cape, and then also combined with the odd likeness, not super great. $290 price point. Don't love it, don't hate it. But I can certainly appreciate that there are options for those that want it. You can get just Batman, or you can get the bike, or if for some reason you want just the bike by itself, you can do that. A lot of people are hoping that the old face plates will fit in. I would be interesting to see if that is the case, but obviously that's not something that we'll know until way in the future. But Dean, any of this catching your eye?
It's definitely a cool suit. I know a lot of people love the gray and blue Batman. So for a generic Batman on the shelf, I think it's cool. But if it's supposed to be Affleck, absolutely not. I don't know who that's supposed to be, but it's definitely not Ben Affleck.
Tell the people your theories, Dean.
Yeah, in the trailer, it's made to look like it's supposed to be Affleck because he's talking to the Flash about going to a different time or whatever. So, like, when that's happening, Affleck is kind of narrating that part of the trailer, so you're, like, led to believe that this is Affleck, but it never actually explicitly states or shows that it's Affleck, so it might not be him. But there are people... This movie's not out yet, is it?
No, it's not.
Next week.
It's not out, but there are people that have seen it that have given thoughts on those theories, and I don't want to spoil anything, but
yeah, there was someone in the chat the other day that said it's definitely Affleck. Which, if that's the case, then what is this?
and I will add just the McFarlane of this same suit also looks nothing like Ben Affleck, and we'll touch on those theories momentarily. Marco, what are we thinking here?
Yeah, so this is just it kind of lives in a weird space for me because I really love the BVS suit. The Justice League, not as much. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, they're giving us a cool colorway, but I don't love all the armoring. It's kind of like a little bit far removed from what I would want from a traditional Batman. And so I think in that respect, like it's definitely not for me. That being said, I haven't seen the film yet. Perhaps I watch it and I'm like blown away and I'm like, okay, well, I already have 2 Ben Affleck Batmen. This one will kind of serve a purpose for my representation for the film if I am really blown away. I'm a little bit leery of the size of the bike and the figure together. It's like I'm already getting a bike for the Pattinson Batman. It's like, how many Bat bikes do I really need? Maybe the answer is all of them. But yeah, so this one, I think the likeness is just weird. If it was Affleck, I think it would make it a bit more of a no-brainer for a lot of people, but because they've come out with this generic likeness, I think it's making a lot of people pause. So it's just another example of Hot Toys being Hot Toys. They're just going to do really odd stuff every now and then and just add this one to the list.
Spike looks like it would be an absolute bitch to turn corners with. You know, like that front tire, I don't know. You big straight line, you're good to go. But this one's a pass for me, honestly, on both accounts. I think he looks like me stuffed into a bat suit, which is not a compliment. He's way too hefty for some reason, and short and stocky, and just not what I would want out of at least this Batman in a blue and gray suit. It also doesn't have like the appeal of the blue, gray, and like yellow belt that like a comic verse style version of this character should have, in my opinion. And I mean, this is the choice of the film. This isn't Hot Toys making this design choice, so I get that. I just don't like this design choice that much. And even if it's badass in the movie, I don't know if it'll totally change my mind. You guys also nailed it with regards to the likeness. When I saw this, I immediately made a reaction video to say basically just that. Who the hell is this guy? And what have you done with Ben Affleck? Even like the Nightmare pack, 2-pack that I opened at Christmas last year, I mean, that faceplate looks so much like Ben Affleck, considering it's only half of his face. Like they do a really good job there. So
he's got a very distinguishable mouth plate.
Yes.
Right? Like you could tell it's Affleck.
100%. They could have given us a repeat of those mouth plates and I would have been happy. It tells me there's something otherwise going on with this, and I think, Dean, your theories could be right. I know it was Jose G. Hernandez that said he's seen the film and confirms that this is supposed to be Batfleck, but I'm still of the theory maybe it's Thomas Wayne, maybe it's somebody else. It's a tinfoil hat. I don't even care. I'm going to die on that sword until I see this film, and then I will tell you all I'm wrong. But
can Ben get negative points if his 7-pack theory and the Thomas Wayne
he
theory
gets negative
wrong?
7 points. But if he's right, he gets plus 7 points.
All right, fair enough.
Hey,
you
I'll
by
take
the sword,
that.
you die by the sword. Ben.
I will take that. But no, skip for me. Double skip. What about you, Marcos?
Well, yeah, not seeing the movie yet. It doesn't. Hot Toys can get his likeness easy. It's not like they messed up on purpose. I'm sure it's a licensing issue. I bet Ben Affleck said, absolutely not use my likeliness. That's all it takes. He has to sign off on it. I think he doesn't like what's going on with the DC universe, isn't it? So why would he give you likeness? I'm like, screw that. So I think that has to do a lot with it. The bike looks really cool. I mean, if you're a Batman fan, this is like awesome. You know, I mean, this is it. There's another suit. Any Batman from any cinema, anything. I mean, people are going to just collect it no matter what. So I like it. It doesn't have to look like him for me, but if it is him, but there has to be some kind of likeness issue. I'm sure it's a licensing issue. Nothing to do with them screwing it up or saying, oh yeah, well, we're just going to give them this version, or them competing with InArts. I don't think it's not that deep. It isn't that deep at all. And you could fit in a bike, Ben, if you do that celebrity workout thing. You just got to pay for it.
I'm going to start working on it. I'll start working towards it.
I just feel like if I'm buying Hot Toys for the the off the screen quality of the figures. So it's like, if you don't have the likeness, why even bother making this figure? Like,
because they're made to. It's another thing I always hear is like, you think Hot Toys has control? They don't have that much control. They have to make these. There's a license requirement. You have to make them. You have to make.
That's a good point.
So they're not even making the flashes.
Well, that's because that motherfucker terrorized Hawaii for 2 years, bro.
People
PTSD.
Warner Bros. Doesn't want it. They don't want it. They don't want it. I mean, it's it's a lot of those guys are DC Universe is just plagued with like producers, not a lot of people who absolutely love DC and trying to follow these amazing stories they create. Man, they have these beautiful books and they just want to make money. So you know what? Let's make some more money. Let's drop another Batman. Let's drop another Iron Man. Let's drop another Wolverine.
And obviously, we're not going to know for over a year. But if the face plates are swappable with the Affleck ones you already have, that could make the value of this go up a bit, right? If you could just convert him into an Affleck yourself, then folks would be more into it.
You know what's going to happen, and I know we took out all the third-party stuff because I don't want to put Marcos in an awkward position. But you know, some company out there, right, is going to make face plates that fit this that look like Ben Affleck. So if the face plates are really all you don't like, but you love the suit, I don't know, maybe. But there was an interesting theory. So real quick, just finishing up on the bike, you do get some articulated flaps. There apparently is a vehicle ramming accessory, which they haven't yet shown us. But there is an interesting theory, and I'm gonna play this little clip here from an interview with one of the stunt actors in regards to the armored Batman.
Yeah, the armored one's me. Look at the face; it's different.
Holy crap, you're right.
Yeah, that's my face.
And I was asking my friend today. I was talking to him. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a custom Richard one.
Yeah, that's it right there.
I don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Why is there? Did you have him do that or
no? I couldn't. No, yeah, I don't have that much pull.
See that?
Yeah, that's me. They contacted me and they said, hey, we can't get Ben's people to sign off on the armored figure.
Yeah.
Right. So can we do your face? Because we know you were in the suit a lot, And I said, absolutely, feel free.
So let's take that with a grain of salt, because I do want to expand on that idea just a little bit. First and foremost, that guy could be telling a lie, right? It for what it's worth, Dean pointed this out. The Hot Toys product page for both of the armored figures, excluding the one where you really do actually see most of Ben Affleck's portrait, or rather all of them, including that one, do say Ben Affleck's likeness in the product description. However, if you look at those faceplates, they're missing his mole, and I would gander, in my opinion, that I think these do look more like the stunt actor Richard than Ben Affleck. And here's both of those figures I'm talking about: the black chrome armored and the regular from BVS. And a lot of people are thinking that this, what we're seeing here is Rick English, who's the stuntman for this particular film, who was also the stuntman for, Pattinson in the Batman film. And I would say that these, if you cut off that mouth, I'm seeing more of this than I am seeing Ben Affleck. So I know, Dean, you said that there's in the chat that there was no way that this could be possible, but I want to hear what the panel thinks. I mean, is it possible that Hot Toys would do this? And then I'm going to expand on that with a hot seat question. So, with just the data in front of me, it looks like it's possible. I would say these look more like those respective actors than Ben Affleck, but what do you guys think?
I don't think this looks anything like Rick English, to be honest. That guy's road worn. He looks like he's been dragged through the dirt. He probably has been if he's a stuntman. It looks if you look at him just from the nose down, I don't see it there either. I think it's a reach. I think this is supposed to look like Ben Affleck, and it's a bad sculpt.
Okay.
That's
I completely disagree with that.
I would say let's check let's check, because I want to say when this theory came up, I'm going to double check right now, but the description on the Sideshow product page did not say Ben Affleck for this particular version, which a lot of people found odd because, like Dean has pointed out, all the other ones did say that they had the likeness. I'm struggling to find that. Let me pull that up real quick. Marco, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to quote a movie that I love, Role Models, which I might just pick for movie of the week. If you white, you Ben Affleck. To me, this looks just like this actor, right? Like it looks spot on. It definitely doesn't look like Ben Affleck in any way, shape, or form. So I don't think it's a likeness issue in any way. I think that they just took either his mouth or a generic mouth. I just don't subscribe at all to the theory that it is Affleck and they just messed it up. Like that makes no sense to me because they've done it so many times before. Right. How could they mess this one up?
Yeah, I agree with that.
And for what it's worth, that's fair. This set does not mention.
It doesn't mention
this description. Yeah, it does not mention that. So
I think they're just trying to make some kind of generic-looking Batman, kind of tough, gritty teeth kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can pretend it looks like him, or you can pretend it looks like Ben Affleck, as long as you buy it. I think that's what they're going for.
As long as you buy it, and as long as we fulfill that obligation to put
absolutely,
that out.
I don't think they care. They're not gonna do something that Ben Affleck doesn't want, and all of a sudden he sues you for way more than what the production is going to be for. He's going to want that money. They want that money.
And they're banking on Batman being way more popular than Ben Affleck anyways, right? Like, okay, the character is more transcendent than Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have to be Ben Affleck. But some people, like Dean said, he's not right or wrong. That's what he wants. He goes, dude, I'm buying these figures for the cinema quality of it, and I'm not getting it, so why am I going to buy it? Exactly. What's the point?
Yeah.
Right? But some people don't care. They're just Batmans. So.
But
them getting it wrong, Ben, I just can't see that happening. I can't see them just going through that whole thing now. Sometimes they tweak it, like Bob was saying in the comments. Sometimes they do screw it up. They do it, but the likeness is still.
It's still you can still tell that it's usually the same person for sure. Even a 6 out of 10 still looks like it's supposed to be that person.
Right. That's why I was thinking it's not Affleck in the movie because they don't just make mistakes. They don't just make random head sculpts on figures. Like,
and all this speculation, I think, would end, once more of us have seen the film.
Right.
We're going off of like 2 people that we know that have seen it that said, hey, this in the film, this is supposed to be Ben Affleck, right? Maybe they saw a different cut. I don't know. Once the main cut is out and we've all seen it, we can touch back and circle back. But let me ask you this. Boys, I just want you to, just for a moment, suspend disbelief. It's 2024. Hot Toys is like, fuck it. We can't get some of these these actors to sign off. We're going to make these figures anyway, and we're just going to put something that kind of looks like it, right? There's all these figures that people want that, because, for a long time it was rumored that Padme could not be made because Natalie Portman wouldn't sign off. So my question for you is, would this be a good thing for collectors? And if you had to have them make one figure, what figure would it be, right? For an actor that typically doesn't sign off, what would you like to see? We'll start with Marco first.
So Marco or Marcos?
Well, you said Marco.
I said Marco.
Don't get it wrong.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just jump in then.
It's Carlo, actually.
Yeah, that's right. So I do think it is. I don't think it's a good thing for collectors, right? If you're in the Hot Toys game, like Dean said, you want a shrunken down representation of what you see on the film. So I think in no way it is good for collectors.
Shit, that was 1 point, sorry.
All right.
I had the loop button on.
But if there was, if they're going to do these generic ones, only because these figures could potentially be modular, you can get a third-party piece, you can use what you've had before. I would say a Han Solo figure. So maybe one of the looks from like Return of the Jedi that they've never done. Just release a smirking generic sculpt with a Han Solo body, and then let folks do with that as they need to in their collection. Now that'd probably piss a lot of people off, but I just think that that's one that's kind of a need in the market that hasn't been filled in a while.
There you go, Ben. What do you think? Good idea, bad idea? And if you had to pick one, regardless if it is a good or bad idea, who do you think you would want?
I think it's a terrible idea. I'm with Marco. I think I even myself collect for the likeness of the actor and like that shrunken down representation in my collection. I don't think it would like. I think it would absolutely drive me nuts to see any of the characters that I truly love. The first thought that I had was a Jack Nicholson Joker because I'm not totally sure he's going to get made again. But then Mars Toys, who's just a third-party distributor, has done a Nicholson Joker, and it looks just freaking like him. So I think it would have to be a helmeted character of some sort, maybe a specialized Captain America suit, something along those lines, something that's under a helmet. I was going to say Flash, but I know that they did the CW Flash before, and that didn't really look like Grant Gustin either. So they kind of already fulfilled that for me. But no, I would say Jack Nicholson Joker would be the choice, I guess, at this point.
Dean the Dream Martin.
Yeah, 100% terrible idea. Again, just to say what I already said, the point of these figures is that screen accuracy. And when I think of characters I really like, I honestly could not give you one that I would be okay with if it just wasn't, if it was like purposefully done wrong, I wouldn't buy it. So I couldn't even answer the question for you. Because there's movies like The Fifth Element that I love, or like Scott Pilgrim, where it's like I would love for characters from those movies, and if it's not Bruce Willis or Michael Cera, like I don't know, like I just wouldn't buy it.
Sorry, that should be a negative point though. Didn't really answer the question. So.
I mean, you're not wrong.
We were
but
talking
you
about
got a
Kick-Ass.
point off my point, so you even said it was my point, and you still got a point.
Dean,
Hey,
masked
it's all fair.
Kick-Ass. Masked Kick-Ass. I could see that. It could be a generic faceplates. Could still look cool.
Didn't somebody make a generic?
I think so, yeah, like 4 years ago.
What do you think, Marcos? Good idea, bad idea? And if there's a character out there that you think you'd like.
The character part's the hard part, but it is a terrible idea because then you're in the realm of just, you're a G.I. Joe, you're a Hasbro piece, right? You can make anything. Okay. You're not getting that art, the artistic one up from everybody else, the craftsmanship and everything in it. However, the other part, I totally disagree with everybody here, and almost everybody I listen to. You give Hot Toys as a company so much credit when they have no control. They have no creative control. Where's the Return of the Jedi? Where's the Bib Fortunas? Where's the Bounty Hunters? Where's all these characters of Star Wars? You can bank. You can make so much money off so many characters, or saying all these characters. You can make any bounty hunter, and you can. They don't have that kind of power. Disney owns them. It doesn't work that way. Which I still love Hot Toys, but I am very realistic. I'm just trying to be honest with that. So a character they can make, gosh, I would go for Bruce Willis because he's not going to be around that much longer, according to his family. So something like that. Sad. But it is sad, something like that, or characters who've passed away. Those likeness are hard to get. Where's the Tarzan stuff? That's a hard license to get. Wolfman, that's a hard license to get.
I'm more of a Georgia the Jungle guy myself.
Bro,
but anyways, that's my opinion. But you have to. I like Dean's perspective. These are figures from some connection to you from the cinema, from some art form of acting that you can kind of put and display and say, wow, I remember this scene when I was a child. But or adult, whatever. We're all big kids anyways, right? So
yeah.
But Hot Toys does not have that much control. That has to be broken because you guys are like, man, I wish they can do this. Return of the Jedi 40th so far has been too
pretty
figures,
much a
man.
letdown.
They're coming with a couple, but gosh, you just smell the Emperor coming again. What?
Ugh, smells like cabbage.
Right.
Now this, I'll be honest, there's almost nothing that I like about this. It's the WB 100, celebrating every story. This is Batman. And the way that they're framing this is that it's, a comic accurate color scheme. You get the blue gauntlets, the blue helmet, the metallic blue, by the way, blue boots, and a supposedly this is supposed to be gray suit. And it just looks terrible. I mean, it really feels like they had a bunch of DX-19 bodies that they're like, crap, we can't do anything about this because we just made this new and improved armory set. Let's just spray some gray and some blue on these and call it a day. I mean, I mean, the bats look okay, but then they're attached to this like super thick, clear plastic stand. This is just bad. Like, we don't have a price point yet. I want to say that we should be getting a price here soon, but it's like you're trying to put a quote unquote comic accurate paint scheme on the least comic accurate bat suit, and it just looks bad. I mean, I really don't have anything good to say about this. It's especially knowing that this is already an inferior body. Like, I don't know who this is for, to be honest.
Yeah, so this is on the already inferior body?
As far as I can tell, they didn't put the new and improved stuff. That's my thought, at least. It could be, but
yeah.
Comparing the photos of this to the, from the armory, it didn't look like it was the new body, and I feel like they would have made it a point to say, like, hey, this is on this new body.
Same, Zach. I looked it up in comparison to the DX19. I think it's identical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the inclusion of the bats. I'm not gonna lie. I think those are fucking cool. But this suit, the fact that like the underlying suit is still black makes the armor bits pop out really goofily. It does not look fantastic. But people love this color scheme and people love this movie and this look of Batman. So I can see a lot of people adding this to their collection, or at least wanting to. Not for me. I don't like it at all, but it is what it is. It's like the nicest thing I can say about it.
It is what it is, baby.
So definitely not for me as well. Like, I don't love it for sure. It's an interesting attempt. At least they kind of gave us like the bats, like you said, and this bat signal. I don't even know that necessarily works, but I am okay with this release because they're putting it behind the limited edition, run, right? Similar with, I think it was the Black Panther Transformer that I didn't like. I was like, hey, if you're going to try something really weird that no one asked for, make it limited edition. Just, kind of test the market, see if there's actually a need for this. So in this respect, I'm totally fine because it isn't for me. It's going to be limited. It'll be a chase, interesting figure that if someone has in their collection, it's like, oh, okay, you went out and got that rare piece. That'll give it a bit more value. But overall, like if you thought about if someone was to do a Photoshop and put this up in one of the Facebook groups, they would get a lot of laughing emojis because it just looks silly. Like, it's just a weird design. So the fact that this company has gone out and actually made a figure of it, interesting choice. But, maybe when we see the in-hand photos, it'll look kind of cool in some people's collections.
Jam Fortnite says, the most uncomic Batman that you could possibly produce, no faith to source material. Now, if you love a figure and you post it on Facebook and people put laughing emojis, screw those people. If you freaking like it, you flaunt it, you do what you want with it, it's your figure. That being said, this week when this thing popped up in my feed, I was like, you ever have that hateful feeling inside where you're kind of like, I hope everybody else hates this figure as much as I do because I don't want to be the only one that sounds negative when I'm like, this is terrible. I was happy to see that. I feel like vast majority of collectors were like, what the hell is this? Because that was exactly my thought. I love the Dark Knight film. It's probably my favorite film of all time. I thought as a Batman collector that I would buy everything that the Dark Knight ever gives us. And this proves that is not the case. This looks like two figures bashed together. And so, like, somebody's just had some fun with spray paint, potentially. The bats are definitely a reissue from the Morbius figure. So clearly they had some leftover bats just kicking around. As well as the DX19 body that clearly they had laying around because they just gave us this better armory figure. So why the hell would you buy the DX19 to begin with? Marco said it eloquently earlier. Hot Toys is looking to make money. They don't have a lot of creative control, but what they can probably say is, we've made too many of these, we need to get rid of some. Now, is the limited sticker on the box worth it for people? It goes back to what we've talked about before with sales conditioning, right? They're teaching us that if they put a limited sticker on, we'll buy anything. But if you don't like it, don't buy it. If you like it, sure, then, I mean, absolutely all the power to you. I would have rather see the Keaton suit as this color scheme. I would have rather see the Affleck suit. Even the Val Kilmer suit that I have behind me, I think could have looked cool in this color scheme. I love Christopher Nolan's Batman. This ain't it. It offended me. I was offended.
There you go. There you go. Let the hate
Wow.
flow through you, Ben.
Get it out. Get it out.
Marcos, anything to add on this one?
Well, Ben, that was really good. Yeah, I think this goes back to the bad word I said maybe 30 minutes ago, recession. You got something you got to pull out. It's half the cost. A repaint with a couple of parts is less than half of the production cost of a new mold and somebody trying to get it all done for you. So let's get this one out. Let's get a Wonder Woman out and just kind of call it a day. And we'll probably get to that one next. But I'm just saying, if you're a Batman fan, sure. I'm glad it's a Hong Kong exclusive. I don't think it needs to be here anyway. So I'm glad I can't get it. We won't get it. I mean, you can get maybe a couple of them. And that, like Marco said too, it's a limited run. Let it be limited. The word value is subjective, right? So I think it's okay. I mean, anything they come out with, I think these things are really cool no matter what. But is it a must-have or something? I don't think so.
I think if they'd done it like a Chrome Stormtrooper, where at least the whole suit was like the blue shininess, I could even see that being like maybe cooler. It just to me looks like it's half done. I just don't. No. I'll mute myself. I can't even handle it.
So, one thing that is interesting. So, at least on the Hot Toys product page on their Facebook, it doesn't say that this one is limited. It does say select markets, so we may not ever even see this one. The Wonder Woman, however, is limited to 1,500 pieces, and I think this one is a bit more palpable for me. First and foremost, this is Hot Toys. As far as I know, this is their first attempt at wool rooted hair. So, if you're unfamiliar with the rooting process, they will use like wool. They'll dye it, straighten it, whatever they need to do, but it's usually like Tibetan lamb wool that they will use. And that's they basically glue it to the hair. So this, from what I can tell from the product description, this isn't going to be like a typical Hot Toys hair where it's like almost a wig that is attached to like a piece of plastic that's then glued on. This is supposedly going to be their first attempt at rooting, a true rooting job rather. And you have to wonder if that is some sort of a test for them to see if they're able to root at the level that InArt is, or at the quantity that InArt is. I know when Asmus was doing the Crown Gandalf in the I don't know what they call it. I think it's Collector's Freaks now. I want to say one of the Asmus people said like an employee roots like 1 or 2 a day. Like that's all they're doing all day is just rooting one sculpt. So makes a little bit more sense perhaps that this one may be a little bit more limited. Don't know that they really improved the portrait itself, but the rooting is going to be interesting for sure. And as far as the costume goes, I'm not the biggest fan of Wonder Woman, but this seems to be more on brand for what we saw in the sort of the Justice League / Wonder Woman type of outfit. So a little bit more palpable for me than that weird gray and blue chrome, whatever that was that we got. Yeah, Marco's saying that is that the Batman, Marco?
No, this is for the Wonder Woman. So okay, I sent the picture in the
sure. I'll let you cover that little nugget of detail, but this one I don't mind. It has that, like, where the Batman, I think it was a little less classy. This one almost reminds me of the Marvel or the Disney 100, where they had the floating, like just the acrylic base. It just was a nicer presentation. And so this one I don't think is too bad, but a lot of people kind of gave some price speculations based on the Hong Kong price, and I think what they were saying was it was going to be like $450, so pretty expensive for a fairly bare bones figure. But Dean, rooting on a Hot Toys, what do we think?
Yeah, that's really cool to see. I mean, it's very limited, so it's probably not something we're going to see a lot moving forward. But I think honestly, Wonder Woman is a figure that they've gotten right a few times, so it's like a safe figure to release. her outfit really has not changed, like almost at all from movie to movie. We've gotten a version of the suit. I don't remember which one it is, but the colors are very saturated. Where it's like really bright blue and bright red. I don't remember what version.
That's the 84 one that just dropped, which is the same exact outfit as this. This is just a bit more muted.
Okay. Yeah, so in terms of it, like them doing like a special color edition for this, like they've kind of already done it, so the rooting really is like the best part of this. As for the head sculpt, I honestly have never really had a problem with their likenesses, other than I think it was the I think it was that special edition one I'm talking about. Yeah, with the actual sculpted hair, I think that was terrible. But yeah, it's inoffensive.
So Draw the Line 35 is saying the hair is the only unique thing about this release, but it may be Hot Toys' last Gal Gadot figure. So yeah, it is true that this is maybe the last time we see her. I don't mind this release, especially it being that it's limited. It's almost like an ultra premium version of what we just got. So I just got that Wonder Woman in the mail not even a month ago. But I'm not offended though, because this is at least them attempting to innovate, right? Like other companies are doing this wool hair. We know InArt is kind of perfecting this with the Joker, and we'll see how their other releases come out. But I think this is pretty cool. So let's see, limited to 1,500 pieces worldwide, according to Sideshow. That doesn't really tell us what their allocation will be, but that's the information they've given us. June 9th, which is this Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, this thing will be dropping. I assume it'll probably be a raffle like the, was it the Captain America? What was the last one that they just did?
I want to say you're correct. It was the Iron Man.
There you go. The Iron Man.
Captain America was the one that was like a free for all, and everyone.
That was a disaster. So yeah, the Iron Man. So hopefully they just do it like a raffle. They'll tell you whether you got it or not. The fact that it's expensive, yeah, that's tough. But again, it's limited, so I'm okay with them doing these kind of quirky, especially they're trying to innovate like these test runs, even though it is a obvious cash grab. Like Marcos is saying, this is really easy for them to produce. Maybe not the hair, but the rest of the stuff they already had. So, yeah, I think this one's interesting. It's not as offensive as the Batman for sure, and I definitely will attempt to get it.
For sure. Great points. Sorry, I missed some of that because I got a cat hair in my eye, and I was like, wow, I can't see anything. All of a sudden, you hate to see it.
Cats. I would not have admitted that out loud, but anyways.
I don't care. That's cool. I'm a cat dad. It happens. Don't worry about it. This is beautiful. I think this is a beautiful figure. I think the Gal Gadot likeness is perfect. Pretty darn close. It's one of the better sculpts I think I've seen of her in general. I think the hair looks absolutely beautiful. I think it's fantastic. I hope that it comes out of the box this way, especially depending on your humid climate and how it's shipped and all of the things. But even still, I think hopefully at least it'll be easier to futz if that's the case. So will I get this figure? I don't own a Wonder Woman yet. And I've been holding off. I've got my Justice League 2-pack in the back room here now already. So I do need a Wonder Woman at some point. I do like the Wonder Woman 84 coloration of the outfit a little bit more. I like that higher level of vibrancy in the color. But this is a very classic look for her. And in terms of classy releases or announcements, I like this obviously 1,000 times more than that mashed together Batman from the past. So this is a wait and see for me at this point. If I missed this one in particular, I think I'm going to end up still committing to that 84 version anyways.
Wow. What do we think, Marcos?
Marco, did that say that in the description? This might be the last Wonder Woman.
I don't think it said that in the description.
Oh, okay. Because
it was a fan theory.
Oh, that is complete. I would call bullshit on that 100%.
They got Gal Gadot.
No way. Once you have the anniversaries kicking in, once you sign off to that, that's forever. And every anniversary kicks in. Let's say it's 10 years. You know you're going to see it. 15 years, Infinity Saga licenses. It's been 20 years from Marvel Cinema. 30 years.
Because that nostalgia builds. That's a good
point.
Oh,
yeah, man. And you kill it. You know, all of a sudden, they're making, Black Widow, Iron Man 2 figures and statues and stuff. And people, I remember that scene. No, they'll have other Wonder Womans. They're not going to be in maybe any new ones, you know, depending on what direction Warner Bros. But I think the strength in this one is I didn't even know about the hair. That's pretty cool. But the base, I just love the base. It reminds me of
beautiful.
Yeah, it reminds me of what you see when you go to Warner Brothers studio. If you ever have a chance to do that, you have this beautiful Wonder Woman, her in her suit and everything, life size, and then the whole entire background is this lit up Wonder Woman, gorgeous golden rod thing, and that's what it reminds me of. So I think you just pose her just like it is right there in that picture with the swoosh and whatever it is, that spiral gold thing, and you're good to go. But this is a Hong Kong release. And when it comes to these Hot Toy exclusives, they start off in Hong Kong. Sideshow will get some allocations, and if they can't sell them, they'll trickle them down to retailers. We get some of these all the time. It just takes 7-8 months. We just get the scraps and stuff, especially if they can't sell them. But if they sell out, they sell out. It's Wonder Woman. I mean, again, she is, top 3 DC sellers, right? So I think it'll sell out. So
yeah,
easy.
I hope that Sideshow does the. Some people thought it was not that great, but I actually really didn't mind it. The lottery system, I think it worked out really well. I think people didn't feel like they wasted too much of their time. So we'll see what they end up doing with that. Let's move on. We have one more Hot Toys to talk about, and we'll blow through this quickly. Boba Fett quarter scale. This is from the Book of Boba Fett. A lot of people in the Patreon chat seem to like this, so yeah, draw the line. Apparently, it's going to be over $430 is what the price projections are. Anyone here order the quarter scale Book of Boba Fett?
I really want to, but I also just don't want to start collecting quarter scale. I think if I was going to have one quarter scale in the collection, it'd probably be Vader. So, as much as I love Boba Fett, I think Vader just has a better presence, especially quarter scale. But I do really love this. I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I think this looks amazing as well. I would hold out for if they do a reissue of the Return of the Jedi quarter scale. Not really in my realm collecting that scale, but I think that one may be something that I'd have to pull the trigger on if they do it again.
Skip for me, unfortunately. Too big for my collection.
Wow. Okay, so let's move on. So we have the InArt Gandalf. These are factory production progress photos from May 31st. There's a lot to like. And I know that we've been very critical in the past of this release, or of InArt in general. And, it kind of goes back to what Mark always says, control the messaging. I think that this was really well done. I, perhaps still would have liked a white background, but, I'll take what I can get. There are some things that I think are a bit worse on the production than what we were solicited, which, tends to happen. And I'll talk about some of those here in the next few slides. So first and foremost, we don't have the pants print. This was confirmed. I want to say it was on Marco. What stream was that where Mario asked John? Was that a Breda stream or a Wolfox Vacation stream?
No, I think it was on Mafia stream.
Mafia stream. Okay, so 6 Scale Mafia had John from InArt on, and in the closing moments, our sweet friend Mario asked about updates specifically on Gandalf, and I appreciate that because we've had some trouble getting John on. And so the pants prints, which again, all these things I'm gonna talk about, we've sent plenty of references to InArt. Those are missing, and I would say I'm still very concerned about the length of the outer robes. In these photos, it appears short on some bodies. It seems appropriate on others. I know at the conventions in Asia and then in Las Vegas, they were really short. So I'm hoping that's not going to actually be a thing once people get these in hand.
The thing you just said about they look longer on the others than some, they don't have the belt around the waist, and I think that pulls it up.
Oh shit, I didn't even realize that. Look at you,
catch, Dean.
Yeah. Good fucking. You know what, Dean? Hang on.
And that's
get you a point for that, my friend.
Because I was saying the same thing, and a lot of people were like, well, they're laying down, and I was like, That's true, and I don't want that to be lost on anybody. That if you futz this properly, that could be easily fixed, but it's not giving me a lot of confidence.
It should be much longer, because InArt's when I talked to John, the whole thing was like, well, you never see the pants in the movie, and that's why we don't know what those hem on the pants looks like. Fair enough, but when your figure, all you can see is pants, I have a problem.
That's right.
Now, they have the book from Balin's Tomb. This is Nori's book that he was. I want to say, at least, that I believe this is the book that Nori was writing in the tomb. There, you got the hats, which I will be honest, I think these look a lot worse than what we were solicited. And I know Asmus struggled with this, and they had to basically, with 2 releases in a row, they had to go and make a sculpted version that they gave away for free, which I think looks fantastic. We did get, now this is pretty cool. This, we have this thing where if you don't like it, don't buy it. My thing is, if you don't like it, tell people why you don't like it. We didn't like this, and we complained, and we bitched, and we moaned, and we made a change, Collecting Weekly, where the second staff here with the crystal was added. Initially, the release was only coming with the Hobbiton staff, and so we got the Moria staff added through our community involvement. Love to see that. So this is a direct result of this channel here and the community. We also see Glamdering, which looks bad. This looks bad. I have photos here in a second to show you, but this, I really hope these are like still need more things done to them photos, because if this is the final Glamdering, I think it's certainly a lot worse than what we were sold. Some photos of the base, which, looking at the Harry Potter base and just looking at how intricate the Joker base was and the Pennywise base was, this is, I think, the weakest part of the figure. It would have been cool to have the illuminated door that Gandalf stands in front of to get into Balin's Tomb. There's a lot of cool things you could have done here. Yeah, the word for friend. Maybe Bilbo's door. There's a lot of things I think that could have been done, and for us just to get this base at still a really high price point, I think is kind of upsetting, but we were never sold anything else, so that's just me being picky. We also get to look at the hands. I think the paint application on these is excellent. His hands are pretty dirty in the movie, and these certainly look like old people hands. And so as far as what I'm not loving, I think the portrait is definitely worse than what we were solicited. Specifically in the eyes. That was one of the biggest complaints with the Crown Gray Gandalf. When they added that eye moving system, it pushed the eyes back way deep into the sculpt. And I'm definitely seeing that here. Ian McKellen does have hooded eyes, and they certainly do sit back a little bit, but it just doesn't really look great to me. And in this photo, at least, maybe I'm just seeing things, but I feel like the prototype had rooting on the eyebrows, and it seems like this is just paint now. And I would say also the mustache, it's too clean, the line, whereas on the proto it was very messy. And I just think overall, I think the texture of the hair, when we first talked about this, I had mentioned rooted hair is very difficult to deal with, especially rooted hair that's not meant to be clean like this. It looks like they have a lot of product in this hair to keep it in place, and I think the average collector is going to have difficulty futzing that hair from the right to look like it is on the left, if it is possible.
Zach, I completely agree with you there. Sorry to cut you off, but I want to just challenge one thing you're saying about the degradation from the prototype. The left looks like a painting to me. The right looks like a real person. So I'm not seeing that. I'll get a bit more into challenging what you're feeling here in a sec, but just wanted to jump in there because to me this goes crazy.
Really, and so one thing also to that point, the lighting is 100% different. So the hooding, the inset that I'm seeing, this all could be lighting, and that's what Stephen Perch in the Patreon chat mentioned. But I don't know, it just feels like just the hair, the texture in the hair, it just seems, I don't know what the word is, but the hair just seems very like fibrous, and on the right it seems very doll-like, and I hate to use that word, but there's something about the hair that just doesn't, it's just not right to me. And I don't know if that's the product that they've put to keep it in place, but and then Glamdering in the original photos, and we did confirm this with John on multiple occasions, Glamdering is supposed to have the engraving on the hilt, and the sapphire, that little blue dot on the hilt, is supposed to be painted, and on the left it looks like it's missing both the engraving and Looks like the gem might still be sculpted, but it's not painted. So I don't know if they just haven't thrown this in to get laser engraved and then the paint on the hilt, but I would say that does look a bit worse. And then the wax on the letter just looks funny to me. It just looks like an afterthought. Like they just glued it on and they're like, fuck it, that's good to go. But you know, these are not bad photos. I think I have like 2 payments on mine left. But you know, I will say, I think the most upsetting thing of all of this is the length of the robe still seems short, and the pants print being absent is a tough one. Jam says missing print, not the right length robe, face, hat, sword, downgrade, $500 item. I don't know if it's me, but the license 1/6 is going the wrong way with price and execution on the whole. Not a masterpiece equals no purchase. Dean, what do you think?
Yeah, I talked about this the other day on Will Stream, and someone was in the chat. Was like, well, who's doing it better? Which is a really like dangerous way of thinking, because it's like, bro, you're paying for that. Like, you're paying a very high premium for all those things to be an issue. Which, you know, if you look at each little thing, it's like, okay, well, that's not like a huge deal. But when you start adding them up, it's kind of like, oh man, like I could save $200 or $300, get the Crown Series Gandalf and do some like proper futzing, and you know, the head sculpt's not going to be as good. There's no doubt about that.
A lot of futzing, Dean.
I mean, let's not get
let's rewind that.
Yeah, but you could be very happy with that Gandalf.
Yeah.
And save a bunch of money. So to have these expectations, because they set the expectations. We didn't just like come out of the gate and tell them like we want the absolute best. They came out of nowhere and said, guys, we're giving you the absolute best, most accurate, you know, get ready. And it's like, okay, well, where's the prints on the pants? Where's the runes on the sword? Where's the this or that and the other? We have to fight tooth and nail to get the extra staff, which they included photos in their prototypes
of the
with
pose.
Scenes with the staff that wasn't even there. So it's like they kind of just did it to themselves. And I'm not saying this isn't a great looking figure, but I just don't think it's worth the money.
We'll be unboxing it live, by the way, when it comes in.
Heck yeah. Looking forward to that. So Dean, I think you kind of said expectations, you know, the cost definitely feeding into the perception or how this figure is being received. I will just say that I have to commend InArt for the way they've been communicating with us recently. To see these really high quality either pictures or videos has been a great way to like look at the figures. A big upgrade from what they were doing kind of towards the middle of their runs. So hopefully they continue that. Hopefully we can get John back on too. So it's great that he's back in the community, you know, actually answering some questions. It is tough with expectations. I do worry that some folks may be a bit too close to the product. This isn't a character that I necessarily care for. So, you know, I can't really speak to that, but I think that, you know, Zach, for instance, I think it may just be too close to it that you're expecting this perfection that will never come, right? The things that you've listed are legitimate. They're legitimate omissions that you want to push them to be the best, to release the best product as possible. But I am concerned that if it doesn't come out absolutely perfect, that it'll be a disappointment in your eyes. At the end of the day, it could be a really great figure and still the best representation of this character that we're going to get.
Sure.
So that does concern me, right? Expectations are always the thief of joy.
The one thing, I guess, if I can interject just a little bit,
of course.
Like Dean said, right? Like they came out of the gate. We're making the best figures, the best materials, the most screen accurate, and that is a sentiment that they have repeatedly, like put emphasis on, you know, even just months ago. And the thing that really bothers me is, like, yeah, we gave them the references, right? That wasn't good enough. We told them where the costume was, like, who owns it, where is it at, and it just seemed like they were like, well, you can't see it in the screen in the movie, right? But it's like, that's a really dangerous mindset, because there are a lot of things on a lot of costumes and a lot of movies that you can't see that are there that we expect companies like Hot Toys or Sideshow to get right because they are there on the physical prop, right? and I think that's a really lazy mindset.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, Sideshow back in 2014, right, on their Gandalf had those details, right? How is this version not having these details? And admittedly, yes, you are 100% right. This will probably never live up to that perfect figure, and I'll probably futz it to get it there. You know, we might be at the 2-yard line to get it across the goal line.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there are big things like, you know, the beard being half as short as it should be, or the robe not covering the pants that are really just lazy, right? Like, those are things that you can see on screen that you don't need hands on the prop to do, that I really hope that they fix those. And admittedly, in the photo of the sculpt, I think the beard does look much better. I was really concerned after Vegas with the beard.
Mm-hmm.
Admittedly, credit where credit's due. I think it's fantastic. I don't know if it's perfect. I have to see it on the figure. But you are 100% right. I have very high expectations. But like you said, a lot of those are from the company coming out and basically saying, like, this is what our goal is, and anything short of that, you know, we have failed that goal.
Yeah.
And like Dean said, who's making one better? Viper has made one better. He has made a near perfect Gandalf the White on his own, right? So for them to kind of, you know, dilly daddle and like say like, oh well, we don't know where we don't have the references, we can't see it on screen, you know, this and that, we're gonna try to fix it in production, we'll get back to you later. It's a bit off for me. But you're 100% right. Like, I'm gonna unbox it. I want to go with the mindset I'm gonna enjoy it, but I do also have to keep in mind the things that they've told us, like about how accurate they want to be, and you know, Viper's got Gandalf right before on his own, so having all this extra stuff and, you know, just really obvious exclusions like the staff just still blow my mind.
And that's completely fair, right? And when it releases, it'll probably be their second release, kind of how this is trending. When those comparison videos come up, if there's been an older figure that's done it better, then that won't be a great look for them, right? So I'm very interested to see this thing come out, but I'm still convinced it'll be strong, but definitely not for me because of the amount of futzing, right? Like you've mentioned, the hat, the beard, the robe, everything's going to really be tough out of the box. And that's definitely not the type of figure that I'm in the hobby for.
It's a lot of fabric.
Oh,
it's a lot of fabric. It's not
going to be a rude awakening for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Ben?
So I think you made a good point about Zach being a little close to loving the character. He definitely has the hottest take, which is okay. I think that is appropriate for the price point. I think it is appropriate for the messaging that InArt has provided. What it worries me is when they tackle characters that I love as much as Zach loves Gandalf, will I feel just as passionately about it? Probably. And if they don't make some of their initial ones as perfect as possible, for some easy wins too. I mean, like, if it was like, I don't like exactly the way his bangs come down over his forehead or something, yeah, that's something that can be changed. But like something like printing on the pants, that seems like a pretty easy win for collectors who love Gandalf as much as they do. And for me, like even with the Joker, you know, like the DX11 Joker came with some of the accessories that I'd want that Joker to have, and this one that I paid $1,400 Canadian for didn't, like the shotgun and some of those other little bits, right? Is it perfect still, or is it close to perfect as you can get? Yeah, probably. Is this still the best Gandalf in the market? I would argue yes, it is still the best one out there. I've seen the Asmus. Not everybody has the skill level to tweak a figure like Zach can. I think this still definitely beats the Asmus figure. So in my opinion, they've achieved their goal of making what appears to be the best on the market. Did they sacrifice some easy wins? Definitely. Could they have justified their price point a little more aggressively? I'm sure they could have. What figures will they make in the future that I'll feel this passionately about and want to fight this battle for? That remains to be seen, because otherwise I'm enjoying, hey, yeah, maybe, right? I like, who knows? But I can see where Zach is coming from, but I can also see why people are still just as excited about this. When you said these swords didn't look good, Zach, I was like, oh, really? I thought they looked pretty badass. that shows that I'm more of a fake fan than Zach will ever be with regards to the Lord of the Rings. I love the
minuscule
film,
fucking dot that they're
but
missing.
no, I thought the sword looked. I thought it looked cool. I'm again not the.
They got every
the
fucking
fan.
envelope from Harry Potter. They can't get the damn gem from Glamdring. How dare they?
Fair. So, but no, I think I ended up passing my pre-order on this one because things were stacking up, and I was just like, I don't know if it's a line I can justify going down. But I'm still excited for the future of InArt. I still think that this is a cool release, and I like that base. I think that that rock base is kind of fancy. It looks cool. So what do you
Zach,
think?
and I've already said enough. Sorry, just really quickly. I wonder if the Harry Potter, the amount of accessories, the insane detail, has been a response to their feedback from a product like this or other products where they've kind of gone above and beyond because maybe they missed a few things here.
To be fair, he doesn't interact with a lot in this movie. I mean, if I had to close my eyes and think, they got stuff that I would have left out, right? The envelope with the wax seal, the pipe I knew for sure, but the envelope with the wax seal and then the little moth butterfly thing, really smart accessories. I will give credit there. None of the other Gandalfs have come with those. And I actually learned recently there's actually 2 cloaks, and I think this one just comes with 1. So there are things that are missing. There are things that are really smart. I mean, I'm a big fan of Gandalf, right? I'm not gonna not get this, right? I think I have as many Gandalfs as I have Hot Toys, period. So yeah, I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna unbox it, and it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna have a beer and laugh at how anal I am about it. Marcos, what do we InArt Gandalf?
Let me get a
of
drink.
the G-Man?
Let me drink a little bit for this one because
there you go. gotta take a shot at
only
Jack
appropriate
and Coke.
response.
There you go.
Okay, so at first I thought I was going to lean with Marco and Ben about Zach. We all know how you love Lord of the Rings, and this will never be perfect for you, but I'm 100% on Zach's side. They did come out. Not only did they just come out saying we're going to get you the best stuff, we're going to compete with Hot Toys. I remember exactly them saying that. Hot Toys is the old stuff. We're going to be fantastic. We're going to do incredible things. Okay, cool. But they soon learn all the brick walls they're going to hit, right? So this is where the community kicks in so much, and this is why I'm even on this show. This is why I love supporting you guys, and I'm on other channels and whatever. I mean, I just so many YouTubers that I support is because Queen Studio and InArt, which is basically intertwined in this one, they do listen. Johnny does. They do listen, and then if you continue to give them, hey, we need another staff. Hey, we need this. You're missing this. You're missing that. Well, why? Well, this is because of this. Especially Lord of the Rings. It has so much lore. Every little, engraved piece, every little gem, every little sword means something in the story, right? So I understand Zach going, hey, this needs to be this way because that's the way it goes. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you need that. However, they also give you a price point. $500 this is not $500. It's $500 plus some, okay? This is a product that's not even licensed in Canada or United States. You have to smuggle it in. You're paying a premium, okay? $700 piece, $800, $1,400 for a 1/6 scale figure. That shit better turn on my TV. That better be perfect. It has to be perfection, because you are quadrupling the price of the person that you said you're going to beat, which is Hot Toys. And don't get me wrong, I am not against InArt. I love them both. I wish I could sell it. I'm a Hot Toys fan. I love Johnny. I love Queen Studio. I love all that stuff. And I love this because competition's a great thing because it brings the best out, right? But it has to be perfect, man. It has to be fantastic, especially for $500 plus, $200 in shipping, $300 in shipping. God, this thing has to be the best because that's what you're paying for. So I side with Zach on this one, big time. It has to be.
Bro, you could come on the show any day with the attitude like that, Marcos. You could come on the show any day. Now, I will say, as someone that ordered it, at least from where I ordered it from, there are a lot of places to smuggle. I like that. Smuggle them in. I feel like a smuggler now. I think I paid $535. Might have been $545. Other places did have it more. I don't know that anyone had it less.
Do you have your shipping quote yet?
That's all in. Yeah, that price was
perfect.
all in.
Perfect.
Yeah,
good,
but you
good,
are correct. There are some people that got the the shipping price for the Joker that we're like, what is this?
Yeah.
And admittedly, it is a massive box. Admittedly, but a lot of people were surprised at how much it cost to bring these figures in. So,
Right.
I hope to have it. I will admit I am a little behind on my payments. I've been concerned, and so I haven't been paying as I should. But I got to get on that because I want to do a unboxing with this. Done unboxings on all the other Gandalfs, so we should do one on this as well. Let's get into our main topic of tonight, Collector Zone. We have the lovely Marcos on tonight, and I wanted to run a little bit of a little mini interview. Look at this. We take collecting personally 4.9 stars with a 97% of 5-star rating.
Yeah, put the reviews up. Holy
Look
shit.
at that. This is good. This is very good. So, Marcos, can you tell us a little bit about the history of Collector Zone?
Collectorzown. So basically, what this was it was kind of it started as like a side hustle, but not per se. There's passion around it. It's not something we started with something back in 2016. It wasn't really a company. It wasn't even really. I'm just saying when we kind of even thought up the weird name Collectorzown, right? So about the end of 2018 is when I was doing this. When I opened up a physical place, because in between 2016 and 17, it was a side hustle. That was a side hustle, but I was reinvesting money in. But when I got to that point, that because you can only sell these things, I always wanted to go high end. I do not knock comic book shops or toy shops or anything. I think they're fantastic. More power to them. I just didn't want to be one out of the 900 in the area, right? They're all the same. You walk in, it's got NECA, Hasbro, Mattel, whatever it is, anything, whatever. But I just didn't want to be that. And I figured out how hard it is to get into Sideshow and how to become a physical store. And I go, man, that's really hard. I want to do that. That's what I wanted to do because I was always a collector too. But I wanted to do that. So then I started doing that. I opened a physical shop 2018. And then slowly we just kept growing here and there. And you got to keep your... And it's just a snowball effect, right? You keep going. And now to 2023, we have this massive place behind us, So that's the kind of history of Collectorzown. So we do the high end stuff, and we try to stay away from everything that you can buy. If you can find it at Walmart, you really can't compete, right? Like Legos and stuff like that. So
no carrying the $20.99 Hot Toys then, right? Just kidding.
So kind of tearing off of your point, can you tell us a bit more about the range of collectibles and statues that you carry?
Oh yeah, so yeah, for sure. So I'm not allowed to talk about customs or InArt or so toys or anything. I just can't carry it. Okay, I can't carry that stuff. I can't get anything unlicensed. And that's not my personal opinion, okay? It's just the way it works. So what we do is we sell anything in the U.S. We're U.S. based, but we are soon to ship to Canada. We're about to hit that button soon, which will be fantastic because we can really kill in the prices. But anyways, it was that. But we do everything that's licensed. So Sideshow, so we primarily do statues and 1/6 figures, probably... I would say 3.0 and up, the quality wise. You know what I mean? We do Mezco as well for the 112 stuff. I think they're the best in the area of that. That's all opinion. Of course, you can slap me in the face if you want to. They're US based. They're, from Long Island. They're easy to communicate with. There's a lot of things that I sell that I just don't think it's worth it. But we do sell Sideshow, Pure Arts, Iron Studio. We do have anything that has some kind of property or license to the U.S. and some XM pieces, some Queen Studio pieces. We can go into the whole spectrum of them. And now what we do that's a little different than a lot of people is we are the only the statue company here in the U.S. I think 5 members came today from all over the States just to come in and hang out with me and see the gallery. So we have a gallery, a physical 7,500 square foot gallery full of statues and 1/6 figures. We have a whole section for Hot Toys, and I think I have about 60, 70 of them over there in that corner over there for me. So, but we try to do that. We try to educate as well too. So it's education, modu cases. Here's the models. It's kind of like a car dealership. You walk in, So the kind of stuff that's the kind of stuff we do. It's just high end stuff. And the lowest thing we sell here is a Funko Pop. And Funko Pops to us are just kind of starter vinyl statues, really. the kids come in here, they can't afford anything. I tell them don't touch shit or I'll kick you in the face. But you can go to the Funko Pop section and goof around, and they do. They love it. So
that's awesome.
So that's what we do. Yeah.
That's awesome. How does things like ordering from your distributors work then? So for like Sideshow, for example, are you limited by quantities that you can order? Like, how do you determine how many you should even bring in?
Okay, well, determination. So I get that question all the time. So yeah, you are limited. So Hot Toys, of course, Sideshow's a North American distributor. Keep it in their pocket, and they should. They deserve it. They pay the price for it. But they like us a lot, and I like Sideshow as well too. I think they're a fantastic company. They're a business though, right? Sometimes they're just like, hey, you can't do this, and this is the reason why. Hot toy wise, certain units, yeah, and it just depends. The way we figure out how much we can order is the popularity. You guys, really, I'm always in the community, and people who know me, like Zach's in the group, especially Zach and Jonathan. All these, there's just so many. There's thousands and thousands of people in our group. And we just kind of see it, man. You guys kind of really run it, and you understand the same opinion you have is basically your average. And gosh, even looking at a movie and you're thinking, God, Love and Thunder sucked. You're not going to sell a damn thing. I was like, oh, this is pretty bad, So we determine that way. The movies are kind of just like big commercials to us, and that's the way it works in the market. We know things are going to happen before they happen. I know drops are going to happen before they happen. You got to keep hush hush kind of stuff, and there's a lot of things in the background that you don't, So all that says, hey, we're just going to order 12 of these, so we're going to order 30 of these, or we're going to order these. But yeah, they do limit you. But there's other companies that don't. Sideshow's the only one that limits you, really. But other companies do not. They do not.
Cool.
Here's a link there in the YouTube chat if you want to join the Collectorzown Cantina. Where you can see a lot of these posts and get an idea of some potential offers that are there. It's a really good group. I highly recommend you join, and it'll come into effect here in a few minutes. So you mentioned Funko Pop. It's sort of a starter statue. You get people in there, you get them in the door, they get the Funko Pop. A few months later, hey, I want to browse the other section of the store. I want to look at the Hot Toys. I want to look at the statue. You guys have, a wonderful display floor. Are you the kind of store that you'll offer that guidance, potential display options, care instructions for people that walk in or that message you that say, hey, I want to get into this, but I don't know where to start?
Yeah, definitely. The way we focus and the way the entire company basis focuses, like what I'm trying to say is that, for example, Zach and his fascination and knowledge of Gandalf, they don't approach it that way. A collector like Zach, that's not the focus. The focus is the just everyday general person who walks in and says, man, that's something really cool. Let me get it. That's what the focus is on. We kick ass with that, but we're better because we're kind of like Zach too. Like we do get in, like I don't sell anything that I don't think is quality. So that's one thing. So when you do walk in here, one of the things that a lot of the members always ask me, then they know why, is there's no prices on anything in here. There's nothing. There's no tags. There's nothing. So that kind of helps you say, well, I got to engage this guy, or, people go around with the phone looking at the prices and stuff. And they come to me and say, hey, tell me about this product. Well, they'll come with their kid, a 16-year-old kid, and say, hey, look, I really want to get into statues. Okay, don't buy those because if he drops it, you're going to kill him. Well, let's work on these here because they're a little cheaper. Is he going to college? Yeah, well, you're probably not going to pack this up. This is too big. Give me your dimensions in your house. I even got a kid in here who does module cases. That's all he does. Got one specific awesome dude kid. He's like my apprentice, my Sith apprentice. Is like, go get the module cases, and he'll measuring tape and everything and talk to you. And yeah, I mean, we have models, and we're one of the U.S. places that has models of module cases that you can come and touch and turn on the lights and see exactly what they look like and the models and stuff. So that's the kind of stuff. So yeah, to answer your educational stuff, yeah, I know everything I sell in here. I know everything Pure Arts drops. I know Hot Toys. I know Diamond Select, Iron Studio, the material, the sculptors. Yeah, we have direct links with everything, and that's the way we do it.
Very
cool. It's like a car dealership, yeah.
That sounds incredible. Excited to check it out in person someday soon. Bob Dylan, the absolute legend, is saying the Cantina codes have saved me so much on MSRPs, so definitely need to join that group. So we know sometimes with the statues or figures, some things don't always come perfect. What do you do to ensure that there's like that post, delivery service, and what do you ensure for collectors who may have issues?
So when it comes to the statue stuff, well, statue world is just like that, right? So it depends on the company. Every company is pretty much on time, except Prime One, right? Prime One, you just want to jump off a cliff. It's like, I don't know, can't tell you, but at least I tell you, I tell collectors up front, like, look, this is what's going to happen with Prime One. But communication is huge. Anybody that knows in the collectors, and there's so many people in the chat right now that buy stuff from me, from the company, and I know them personally. That's the thing. I know them. We talk, we hang out, we chill. Every time they ask me a question, I answer. I'm always there. I'm glued to this phone. This is my life. This is my purgatory, right? This is it. I'm doomed. So, the educational part, the direct links to the companies are huge. If I can't find it, if it's not on my website and it's sold out, and say, hey, I really need this, I'll call warehouses. I'll call my reps. I'll call the company directly. A lot of people think we go through Sideshow for everything. We don't. Very, very small fraction goes through Sideshow. But everything else, like you need a PCS piece or Pure Arts piece or something like that, we'll talk about it. So when it comes to that kind of stuff, but that's part of the whole community. Communication's huge. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
There you go. Bob Dylan says, true story. I PM Marcos at 11 p.m. at night about a broken display case, and he answered and shipped a replacement immediately. Equan says Marcos is ready. He responds to me instantly. It's unreal. And I know there are a lot of places to buy things from. I mean, you can Google search, and everyone has some capacity to ship, some capacity to sell you a Hot Toys. But I think what really separates you, Marcos, is that communication. There have been times where I've messaged vendors, and this isn't to shame anybody, but I mean, it'll be weeks before I hear back, right? And granted, the things I'm messaging about aren't mission critical, right? But
it doesn't matter.
I messaged you, and I swear I had like 3 replies and a voice message in like a minute. Like before I even backed out of the app, I was like, wow, that is service. And even just as before you had known I had done YouTube, just as a potential customer, I picked up the Golem from you, picked up some other stuff from you, and it's a tremendous service that you offer. And I want to talk about that because you do have the Cantina. If you could speak on that, and then also, like you mentioned, you're very engaged with the collector community. You work with a lot of the different streamers out there. And I think it's great that you support the community in that way. Do you want to talk about, Cantina and sort of what goes on in there?
Yeah, so the Cantina is basically our private, no bullshit, no politics group, okay, that kind of surrounds the company. And instead of like some people telling me, hey, man, when you get this in, can you kind of whisper, message me? I'm like, dude, I'm going to totally forget. You're one of thousands and thousands of people, fortunately, that I'll forget about it, man. But you can join this group that we drop all the updates, all the pre-orders, so we're known for codes. So Bob already said it, Pablo, all these guys, we're known for codes. And what the hell does that mean? So we have this motto that we know that the community, from the early beginning, that we always wanted to make a community and be part of the community. Because without you guys, you ain't shit. It basically is what it is. And I have this utmost respect for YouTubers. I don't care how small you are. It's not about numbers. It's not about subscribers. It's not about any of that, because that doesn't mean shit. You could be manipulated to whatever you can. It's you guys bust your ass. You're wasting time. You could be with family. You could be with friends. Whatever. Creating stuff that people need, information. Getting in arts to get another staff. Are you kidding me? That's fantastic. You don't have to do that. And this goes for so many YouTubers. So we try to give back as much as we can with giveaways and charities. And we do a lot of that stuff. That goes into the Cantina as well. And we try to support. And when somebody wants like a push for subscribers it's not even for, it's just educational stuff, man. If you're cool, we're cool. If you got good karma, you're good karma. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. I'm not even gonna talk to you, okay? But we try to do that. Yep. So the Cantina is completely surrounded like that, and the best of the best. I call myself like they've heard this before. I'm like Nick Fury, okay? And I'm gonna explain why. Not his complexion, but I'm Nick Fury, okay? I try to surround myself with the best Avengers, okay? That's basically what I tried to do. The best of the best in like positive human beings I possibly can. and this is my business and it's my passion. So you can, it's like a win-win-win. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I know a guy. His name's Ben. He goes over here. Hey, Mark goes over here. You know, I learn you guys. Zach, yeah, he's Lord of the Ring guy. Check it out. You want a real Gandalf? Talk to him. So now you go back and forth, right? That's how it works when it comes. And then the cantina is, so the codes in there. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Basically, those codes are like your biggest. They are pretty big discounts, and there's a certain formula for it. And if you want to save money, stuff like that, that's so bottom down. Some people don't give a shit about me and say, well, yeah, he's a cool dude, but I want to save money. Okay, there's your end. Hey, I love the interaction. And I love that. I love there's a place, there's a gallery. There's no place like this in the U.S. that we know of. There's no place like this in the U.S. We tried to do that. And when our grand opening, I don't know if you guys saw, we had a grand opening a while back. There was 23 YouTubers in here filming, and it was the first of its kind. And I expect more companies to do the same in time. But it was like an expo, you know, a lot of prototypes and a lot of stuff like that. So we tried. This goes all the way back to when I was telling you that why did I open up a shop 2018? I wanted to be different. You had to do something different, and it's not a knock on everybody else. It's a different formula, different feel of what this beautiful hobby is. I think it's a fantastic hobby, so it gives you a great idea. So that's what the Cantina is: a safe place, save money and waste all your money, and interact with everybody else who wastes money with you all at the same time. All at the same time.
Well said, good sir. Well said. I love that. That was awesome. And I will echo what some of the community said too. I was talking about Star Trek figures the one time and having a hard time finding it. You reached out to me on Facebook to be like, this is what I can do. This is what I can't do. You know, let me know what you get, what you need. And I mean, I'm a small-time YouTuber still myself. I do not expect messages like that privately, and that from a vendor to reach out as a friend and offer that kind of service, I thought that was incredible. I'm very excited about the prospect of you expanding into Canada, because I know where the heck I will be shopping. But I've got one more question for you too, good sir, and that would be around, you know, do you have any success stories or like memorable experiences from collectors that you've worked with that like really stand out in your mind, whether that's hot toys or statues or whatever? Like, do you have any like real memorable experiences with people?
That's weekly, man. That's weekly. That's something I never really share with a lot of people, because you know, you have that statue in your house and it's very corny. What I'm about to say, it's very corny, but I can sit back and say, yeah, that was me. That I have there's a little piece of my DNA is on that box, man, and that dude's happy. Like Joe was in the chat. He just got his life-size 3PO, and I helped him with it. And he said, you know, when he messages and he posts in the Cantina saying this, you know, thank you, Marcos, for, you know, fulfilling a childhood, you know, a dream. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. You know, like, hell yeah. So I like that kind of, yeah, I just never really hit that. Or even Bob's pain in the ass. I know he's saying some shit now. So Bob's pain in the ass when he gets like, oh man, this is awesome. Or, you know, yep. But that's the Nick Fury mentality. I'm like, oh yeah, Bob Dylan I just gave him something. There he goes, posting all over Instagram and shit.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I really love. So that's a daily thing. It's a daily thing. It's not patting myself on the back. It's not an ego thing. I'm not even that person. But it happens daily, and I love it. So
that's amazing, buddy. That's awesome.
Really cool.
Doing what you love.
So we were talking earlier about, you know, potential recession, about Hot Toys, you know, pumping out some repaints because, you know, things may be a bit dicey moving forward. So how do you kind of stay up to date with the, you know, ever-changing market, the latest trends, and then what might you predict for the end of this year and then going into next year?
So I think the market is correcting itself. I think I'm answering your last question there. The market is correcting itself. I think that COVID bubble created this illusion. Okay, it's this big illusion of it's unrealistic to what the market was. I mean, this is why you still see Mandalorian figures here and there, or these big discount sideshows dropping and stuff. They were producing 3-4 times the amount that was supposed to be, you know, 2019, and now things are going back to 2019 levels. Are Hot Toys losing momentum? No, absolutely not. They're incredible. They sell, but they don't sell at those levels. People are done with the COVID bubble. They're done. I want to go outside. I want to go travel. I want to spend money on Hot Toys. And people are just quitting, right? So the problem with that now is you watch your money in your books. It's like, I know, and this is from multiple sources from within Sideshow and stuff. 65%, close to 70% of those accounts are gone. People were out. It wiped them out because it's incredible. It's a big once that bubble burst, these small shops are done for. Their history. They can't keep up. And we had to put measures in place as well, watching the market going, if I continue this way in a year from now, I might be in trouble as well. We're fortunate enough to have, again, an awesome community support system. I mean, every single time. Cantina has over 5,000 members, and allow them to just buy and buy and buy and support, and we support them back. So we have this weird, I wouldn't say weird, unique relationship with, our supporters. And I don't even call them customers. I call them members. They know that. Every time, thanks for customer support. I'm like, don't piss me off, man. It's not, you're not a customer. It pisses me off when you say awesome. That. But yeah, so the market is, so the recession, I think so what's going on is this. So you had the production, let's say you had 60, 70, 80 pieces in 2021. Okay, let's just go economics here. You had all these things and people were buying them. So you're ordering them. Okay, and you're ordering them and you're paying them. But there was a huge delay on releases. So you saw this big uptick in money. You're like, wow, okay, I'm making some good money here. 2023 is when this big recession hit Asia. Asia, I don't know how Canada is compared to the U.S. and stuff, but it doesn't hit us as hard as Asia is. You feel it, but you don't feel it as bad as them. And they don't have those. They don't have like integrity clauses or licensing agents and stuff like that. They don't have that kind of regulations like we do in the U.S. Hence, like Queen Studio getting eradicated for something, and J&D fight. I mean, the guys fight it out, and they kill each other really out there, and they're gonna consume each other in the end. Expect mergers and stuff to it. Anyways, I'm going off subject, but anyways, so you're getting all that, and all of a sudden, you know what? The recession hits. I'm not going to make as much, and these companies that are relying on the pre-order money, and all of a sudden, hey, we're going to release 20 Hot Toys at a time. There go Marco's getting his Scarlet Witch and his man and the DeLoreans, and I get them all the time. Yeah, the detention droids and the Lukes, and then the other Lukes and the Ahsokas, and I'm like, holy shit, this is $50,000 in a week. Who's gonna survive that? I might do it for a little bit, but I'm not doing it forever. That comic book shop's not going to make it, and they don't, and then they lose their allocation. So you're going to see a lot of people saying, "Hey, wow, my shop says Sideshow cancel their order." Sideshow is a fantastic company. They really try to work with you, but if you can't pay it, and unfortunately you can't tell them to hold it either because they need the space. But anyways, that was a long-winded thing. But
no, that was exactly what we were
great
after.
Answer.
Really appreciate.
Okay, that's where we're trying to keep the trend. That's just like the behind the scenes that we have to deal with a lot. We have to just keep the limitations, and you'll see things happening, and you think it's just the economy correcting itself and adapting to whatever's going on. So it's not over yet. I don't know when will it be over. I'm not economic theorist, but you have to be very mindful of what you do, where you buy it at too, because it's very simple. I mean, there's other shops out there, there's side hustles, which fantastic, good for them. I never ever, I don't care where you guys get your stuff from, or InArts, or when I say smuggle, I mean that's the technical term. But damn, you guys are consumers. You can do whatever you want, which is fine. But if this guy has $80,000-$90,000 of your pre-order money and disappears, it's gone. So you have to be really mindful of, hey, am I getting my orders in time? Or there's complaints happening. There's certain companies out there, you always get these complaints. You're like, hey, wait a minute.
You think you're in a wonderland, and then who knows?
I didn't say anything. You said something.
I didn't say anything.
But you know what I'm saying? There's nothing that stops them from, we just accumulated $120,000 U.S. money. I'm out of here. Peace.
Yeah. That's the scary part. And it's happened before, even, not outside of the U.S., right? We're dealing with a comic store that, completely unrelated, but, I mean, tens of thousands of dollars. And,
Yep.
You know, everyone's just SOL. Like that's, you know,
It scares me.
Yeah, it's an awful situation. So we have a fantastic announcement, and Marcos, you were so incredibly generous to support us with a giveaway to celebrate 3,000 subscribers, and I was hoping you would make the announcement of what we're giving away.
I think I have it right
If you
here.
don't have it, oh, okay, there we go. I was like,
Yeah,
I forgot
God,
to tell
you
you. I
crazy?
forgot to tell. He's a professional.
I had to drive from my house to the shop. I'm in the shop. I don't know if you can see a little bit.
What a guy! Look at that.
Anyway, yeah, that's just a little hint. But anyways, I have to come here because it's the best internet I have. Like, really good internet. I don't want to skip it on you guys. Let's see what we got here.
Look at that.
What a beast.
Look at that box.
Look at that. Look at that
Heck
box.
yeah.
Look at that.
That's
Decent.
So,
yeah, it's big. It's a big boy.
Like Carnage
Wow.
regular edition by Hot Toys. Guys, we have a giveaway sponsored by Collectorzown for a Hot Toys, again, regular edition Carnage. And I'm going to drop the link right there in the chat. Now, this is very easy. We've tried the Gleam giveaways, and I really hate them. I hate doing them, and I hate managing them. They're just not fun. And so to make things easy, like we always do, we have a Google form. And I'm going to walk you guys through the form real quick. It's very easy, very self-explainable, explanatory. All you have to do, click that link there. You scroll down just a little bit. First name, last name, easy peasy. Drop your email. You have to agree to some rules. So once we do the drawing, you will have 7 days to claim your prize. I love all of you, but I'm not going to reach out to you for a $500 figure. You got to reach out to us. Send me an email, comment that you won the figure, whatever. Get in touch with us. If you're international, you're responsible for any shipping over $25. We'll pay $25 for shipping. And any VAT or import charges that you may incur from the giveaway. Click yes there. Now, to get one entry into the contest, you have to join the Collectorzown Cantina Facebook group. A big part of this is the community that allows Marcos to be so generous with us, helps him promote his business, helps us all get those really great codes. So you must join that Facebook group. You have to join the Collecting Weekly Auxiliary Facebook group and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So all those three, you're probably already doing all those three. You get one entry. You get one bonus entry for each of the following. Subscribe to Marco's channel, The 16 Fix, and subscribe to the Ben Thomas Show channel. So right off the bat, day one, you get 3 entries if you've done all 5 of those things. Now, throughout the different shows, you will get opportunities for bonus codes. So just go back to this form, check those boxes again, enter your bonus code. That's another entry. So, we do 3, 4, 5 streams a week. So you might have 3, 4, 5 chances a week to get an extra bonus code. And, a lot of people kind of joke with Equan, like, man, Equan always wins the giveaways. Equan's watching every show, right? So watch the shows. They'll be randomly inserted. Not every show's going to have one, but a lot of them will. And you get an extra shot to win a Carnage. And again, it's sponsored by Collectorzown. They were so nice to donate that item. And the drawing will be done the first Tuesday after we hit 3,000 subscribers. So if we hit 3,000 subscribers on a Wednesday, it'll be that following Tuesday. Or if we hit it on a Monday, it'll just be that next day. And we'll make sure to post everywhere that we're doing the drawing so everyone knows. It'll be a random number generator like we normally do. And if you're in the United States, we'll cover shipping, and you have nothing to worry about. But again, if you're international, there may be some import or VAT and additional shipping charges that you'll have to cover. So just be aware of that. But again, Marcos, thank you so much. That's such a generous giveaway. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for that.
Well, thanks for you guys too.
Yeah,
I love how you. Sorry, Zach. I love how you included Ben and Marco. I didn't. Now I know. I figured like, who are these channels? I'm like, okay, perfect.
Yeah, they're our friends. Everyone needs
absolutely. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Zach also told me I can't win, so I'm like, okay.
Well,
I thought about quitting the show just so I can enter the contest.
You're moving. You don't need this thing. You're moving. You don't need an extra box.
Yeah. To be fair, they do a tremendous amount of work, and like even just today, I was bugging Marco. Jesus, got me saying it. I was bugging Marco all day. Like, hey,
people just can't get it right, Marcos.
Can you can you rip this video file for me? Or, hey, look over these questions for Marcos. I want to make sure that these are good questions. Like, all day I was bugging him, and same with Ben. Or, Ben's always so generous. We do this thing back and forth. If we have slides done, we'll send them to Ben and vice versa. Usually, mostly, he's nice enough to send us his slides. So, Erwin says Thomas Benson is registered now. I better not see Hannah. I better not see Hannah putting a giveaway, Ben. If
I'm
Hannah
sending
wins,
her a message right now.
I'm taking it back, Ben. Well, she better be watching. Or you get -1 point, Ben.
How convenient that Ben all of a sudden has friends on the first stream.
Yeah, okay.
Have a giveaway.
Ben Thomas, if that is your real name,
Thomas
which it's not.
It's too convenient.
Too convenient, Ben Goldstein. Anyways, the 64-bit fix. We got some news, and Marco, no S, tell us what we got here.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the Apple Vision Pro, which is, an item that a lot of people are buzzing about. I've been really excited about virtual reality and augmented reality for a long time. And I think Apple kind of taking this plunge is a really great sign that the market could be really viable soon, that this stuff could become very mainstream, even above and beyond where it's at right now. That being said, this particular product, right, we got to talk about the price, $3,500. It's not for your average Joe, right? Apple normally does this. They come out with this first edition. I remember I got the first iPhone, and that was like a big investment for me. I stood in line. It was not cheap. I don't even remember how much it was, but at the time it was an insane amount to pay for a phone. But you're getting this as an early adopter, right? So this is not going to be for most folks. But the technology that they're showing off here is incredibly cool. So they've got eye tracking everywhere. There's basically no controller. You just look where you want to control and you click with your fingers. And from what I've heard, watched a lot of YouTube videos, read a lot of stuff here. It's like incredibly intuitive. You could have your hand down by your waist and still clicking, and it works really well. There's a voice sensor. There's a knob on the side where you can turn from basically blackout mode, where it's all virtual reality, to the screen becomes then transparent, and you can kind of see your environment, which is really cool. There's an OLED screen on the outside, so that folks, like, let's say you're watching this on a plane, you're sitting there and you're in an IMAX screen watching a film. If the flight attendant comes over, you can kind of switch and they can see your eyes, but it's not actually see-through. It's just a screen showing your eyes, right? So
wow, that's amazing.
A really creepy part. But I think this is going to really kickstart virtual reality, augmented reality, even further, right? I know Google had their Google Glass that wasn't successful. PlayStation's doing their VR. We have Oculus and Facebook kind of doing things, but I think this is the first foray into like a really premium augmented reality setup from Apple, right? And so this could be incredibly exciting for video games, for concerts, right? Imagine paying $10. I was watching the Marquise Brown video and he mentioned this. Imagine paying $10 and sitting courtside in an NBA game, and you've got these 4K OLED screens and it's like you're really in there. So what do you guys think about this? I'm really excited about this.
Wow.
Bro, if it's Apple, there ain't going to be no gaming on it. Let's just be real.
Well,
it's tough. It's tough, Marco. I have an Oculus or Meta Quest 2, and it's fantastic. Outside of like a few nitpicks with the UI, I don't really know what could be improved, right? All the things that you mentioned, or rather some of the things you mentioned, the pass through where you could see what your surroundings are, that's already on Oculus. The one that they can see your eyes, that is not. So that is a little bit interesting, but I don't know that I've ever needed someone to see my eyes when I'm wearing VR. And to be frank, I don't know that I'd be playing VR on a plane. That just seems like a douchey thing to do. However, the things that you did mention, right, being courtside at a game, like there's an app on Oculus where you can watch YouTube videos. I was watching a Daft Punk concert in VR. It was fucking fantastic. There are really fantastic things you can do with VR, but boy, $3,499. The Oculus Meta Quest 2, I think it's $300. So you're about 10 times the price. I don't know that you'll have 10 times the VR experience. To me, when I think it was Manny was saying that they were likely going to announce something, I was thinking, $499, $999, tops $999. $3,409. That's a huge investment, and it's boy, that's a lot of money.
It's only like
Bob,
4 Jokers. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, DJ says, keep in mind this is basically a computer, not just a headset. Yeah, and that's what a lot of the like Oculus. I mean, it is a built. You can play games. You can do a lot of stuff on Oculus. It just boy, that price is a kicker though. That's a lot of money.
You're paying that Apple Premium for sure.
And
you know, this becomes appealing to the average Joe, like most of us here. Not myself, but no, I'm joking. You know, kind of 2 to 3 iterations down the line when maybe this thing is like $999 and it's really lightweight, like it's a pair of sunglasses that you put on your face. That's kind of what this is trending towards. But anyone else here kind of have any thoughts about this?
I mean, I think it's really cool. As soon as you said you could put your hands down at your waist and start clicking buttons, I was like, okay, I can see where some people are going to use this for. But no, you know what? I've always, I mean, I'm a huge science fiction nerd. I always loved the concept of the holodeck in Star Trek, being able to walk into an immersive environment. I thought that was the coolest science fiction ever. And now that we're getting to a stage in our actual reality where we can have equipment that can simulate virtual reality this way, I think it's a win, honestly. I think it's really, really cool. Think about it. This is the worst this technology is ever going to be. It's only going to get better from here. And so if this isn't the unit you decide to buy, that's okay, because the next one's still going to be better and better and better until the point of maybe we have holodecks or something along those lines in the future. It's really cool. I'm on board for it. Will I pay $34.99 for it right now? Absolutely not. But I am kind of curious about it, and maybe I'll take a trip to the Apple store, see if they'll let me try one on, and pretend like I've got money.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I have the Oculus Rift when it first came out, and played, you know, like Skyrim and stuff on it. I can't really seem to wear these longer than 30 minutes without getting really terrible headaches. So I don't know, just the idea of like wearing the VR headset's not for me long term.
And I think, you know, the concern is this is really premium materials. It's glass, it's metal. It probably will be pretty heavy. I'm sure that they've designed it for a comfort level, but
glass
again, this
sucks, bro.
Yeah,
you're gonna drop this thing. God,
this will become appealing when it's closer to like the Doc Brown, you know, glasses that he has. Like someday we will get there, and then this technology will really become ubiquitous. But for right now, it's just for, you know, those early brave adopters. Imagine how much Ben would cry if he spent $3,500, and then next year, when, you know, or the end of next year after this thing comes out, they announce V2. Ben would never sleep again.
There's not enough nuts in this house, boys. There's not enough nuts in this house.
Only 2.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll do my next stream in VR. I'll put the headset on and everything to pass through.
You'll fall asleep. We'll be like, "Hey Zach, what do you think of this Gandalf?" I'm like,
fucking like Data, bro. I don't know. This is interesting.
What, does it come with the charger?
There's
no,
like
you gotta pay extra, Dean. They don't put that shit in the box anymore.
There's like a proprietary connection that's magnetic that has like a little battery that hangs around your neck. So that part is weird. I don't fully appreciate.
They're gonna see Marco on the plane. They think it's a Daft Punk in the back. It's fucking just
wow.
It's incredible, man. That's incredible. I didn't even hear about this. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's. But the thing is, though, it's like you're saying, like it's the first thing, but it's like no, there've been companies doing it for a long time. Like this is not the first VR, and I think it's.
I think it was just saying that when Apple's jumping into the mix, then it's like, oh,
that was my point, Dean. Now it's in the Apple ecosystem, so you know things are just gonna be more intuitive.
Even
than
like
anyone
the
else
clicking
has ever done
thing, you can do that with the Oculus too, without the controllers. It has 4 cameras on it, and it tracks your hand movements. Sometimes so Zach's Wonderland. Just a quick update for ZW. So my new printer is in, built it incorrectly, had to unbuild it, rebuild it. It's fully functional now. We have the capacity to print plastic at twice the speed, and we've been printing resin as per usual. So if you guys have any orders you need, hit me up. This is some fun prints that I made this week. I made Daft Punk. I made them in clear blue resin and then gray resin that I painted, gray and black and gold. So yeah, get those orders in if you want. I don't want to take up too much time because we were running super long. Indiana Jones Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in the height of the Cold War famous archaeologist Indiana Jones, returning from his latest adventure, finds out his job at Marshall College is in jeopardy. He meets Mutt, a young man who wants Indy to help him find the legendary crystal skull of Akator, and the pair set out for Peru. However, deadly agent Irina Spalko is searching for the powerful artifact too, because the Soviets believe it can help them conquer the world. Yeah, I was all in on this movie for about the first 25 minutes, and then Shia LaBeouf as a greaser named Mutt Williams completely took me out of it. Harrison Ford's old in this movie, and he really looks old in this movie. And I don't even, when did this movie come out? Because he's even older and he has a new movie coming out. So it's I don't know. It was great to see Karen Allen back.
2008, bro.
Jesus Christ. It was great to see Karen Allen back as Marion Ravenwood. But boy, Cate Blanchett, not a great Eastern Ukrainian, didn't really sell it well.
I actually didn't even recognize her as Cate Blanchett. That's interesting. That went right over my head. Didn't even notice.
I love Shia. I love Shia LaBeouf. I really do. But boy, not like this. This was. I mean, you got to think this is after Transformers 2007, bro. He was hot.
He was that guy.
He was that guy.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the future, right? But
yeah,
he's got his own issues. But
I don't know. This I wanted to like this movie, and to me, this movie felt like, Dean. It felt like The Force Awakens, right? You got the throwback nods to the original, right? You got the what is it? The Ark of the Covenant, like a little Easter egg here, a little Easter egg there. But it's never gonna be as good as the original trilogy, right?
Right.
And I felt like, try as they might, I just think he's too old, and it was hard to believe. And there was a lot of thinking about the first movie back then, they weren't using, like, everything was practical, everything was on camera, right? And in this one, I mean, there's a lot, like, boy, the aliens look terrible. The ant scene was kind of cool, but it looked terrible. And I want to say at this time, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm incorrect here, but I want to say 3D was like the big thing, because there was a lot of 3D moments, like when she squished the ant and it like on the camera. Really? I felt like there was a lot of shots that were made for like that effect. Maybe I'm totally wrong here, but when did 3D? Are you sure?
When was Avatar? When did that come out?
2010. Maybe you're correct. Man, maybe you're right. But I want to know. Yeah, I didn't love this movie, and it sucks because I love aliens and I love like the ancient aliens crystal. Like, I love the whole mythos about it. And I didn't even know this was an alien movie until the skull had the fucking look like Miles Morales.
It's not an alien. It's not an alien movie.
Well, there's aliens in the movie, rather.
I mean, but that's just to say, you know what? It could have been, should have been, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
An alien movie. It's not an alien movie.
What did you? Because Dean, you picked this for me. So what did you think about?
Oh, yeah, I picked this for you because you were getting kind of back into the swing of the indie movies.
You tried to make him hate this. You tried to make him hate it.
Well, we were unboxing his Indiana Jones figure, and somebody asked him about it, and he's like, "I've never seen it." I was like, "You have to watch this stupid fucking movie. This movie is just not good."
MB Dyson says, "I got to work on the Crystal Skull, so I have an affection for it, despite its cheesy moments." Is that the aliens there in his little profile photo?
Bro, the scene with the refrigerator and the nuke.
Okay, I actually love that scene. Because right when he opened the door,
that guy should be vaporized.
No,
I know,
it's a lead lined thing.
That threw me out. No,
is this like an open forum here? Is this an open forum here?
Absolutely.
Dean, that was the biggest argument when the first movie came out. Like when it first came out back in the day. Oh, that's unrealistic. If you go back, I just watched this again yesterday and the day before, and it's fantastic. I love it. I love this movie. I'll tell you why. If you go back and you watch the old Indiana Jones, like the Raiders Lost, it's all the same cheesy
100%.
Unrealistic bullshit. It's all about entertainment, man. It's the same crew, man. It's George Lucas, Steven Spielberg giving you the same action. It's always the same formula, back and back to back. A little bit more, and I'm so excited for the new film too. This is just crazy. Like how you're unarming people with whips and you're flying off planes and you're jumping. It's fantastic. So with the fridge going, I remember that argument when my friends looking at each other like, well, okay, whatever. Yeah, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's
this is like
it's
the
good.
Fast and Furious for archaeologists.
Wow, that's a great way to put it.
Right.
There was no fast though. He was slow when he was running on the little crates in the beginning. I was like, boy.
Yeah, I should have shot about 18 times.
Marcos, you're 100% right. You're 100%
He's doing it
right.
himself. And even in the new movie, he's like, I don't want to stunt double. I want my old ass to jump off this horse, and you see how old I am. That's the way he has his movie. Like, I'm old, and he's old in that other movie too. And he's trying to climb shit, and I think he was moving pretty damn good for being that old.
Yeah,
he was jumping on those crates. I remember that. That was fantastic.
Yeah, he hadn't crashed his plane yet.
Right, he didn't crash his plane yet.
Yeah, this movie. I mean, it's. Even how like silly and campy the other movies are, this one takes it to a whole other cheese level that I just did not appreciate. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, so I actually am I fall in the camp that this one is not that bad as well. Like when I watched it the first time in the theaters, I enjoyed it. Honestly. Now I don't have like this great affection for Indiana Jones. I obviously grew up on Raiders and on Temple of Doom. Those were some of my favorite films growing up, but I don't know that I'm like so emotionally connected to the character that I was like so offended by what, happens in this film. I will just say the type of like surrealism that's introduced is not necessarily what I would have done. Like if AI was to write a script, I think that they kind of went in a weird direction that I personally didn't love. I think that's kind of my big flaw there. I kind of, enjoy what the other films did in terms of a bit more almost magic realism, or a bit more grounded than this one, going a little bit more off the rails.
No way, it's not grounded. Go
well,
back and
okay,
watch it.
all right. I know. That's why I paused before I said it. So I'm saying a little more grounded, just a little bit more grounded. But yeah, so this is it's worth a rewatch. I don't think it deserves all the hate that it gets, but it definitely is not a great film for sure.
Okay, so Marcos's take made me like it a little bit more again because I saw how happy and passionate he was about it. But when I watched it by myself, and again, maybe I should have watched it with the boys. Maybe I would have had more fun. I could see that being the case when I watched it by myself the other day, and that refrigerator. Not only does that nuclear explosion absolutely obliterate everything in sight, when you see the fucker flying through the air, hits the ground, and not just hits the ground, it like rolls about another 50 feet, banging along. I'm like, oh, he's gonna be goo on the inside of that
He's
fridge.
so able-bodied in the film. What are you talking
about? And he gets
man?
out and he's still... But then I just watched Chernobyl recently, which, by the way, HBO Chernobyl show
is fantastic.
Really amazing. When he stands there on the edge and like looks at the nuclear explosion, I'm like, oh man, this guy should be like melting on the side piece right now. Like,
you think it gets washed?
Yeah, he gets washed shortly afterwards. So there was that, and then when you see Shia LaBeouf like swinging through the trees with the monkeys,
oh my god, dude!
That took me out of it a little bit.
That was horrendous.
When he's sword fighting, or like sword fencing, I guess you would more say, with the lady on the with Kate Blanchett, that was really rough. There was just part after part where I was like, okay, it's just like taking me out of it. There were huge aspects of this film that I did like. I liked some of the kind of the science fiction-y alien stuff that they added in there. I liked seeing Indy on another adventure. When I first saw this years ago in 2008, I agree with you guys. I thought he looked really old. Now watching it, I was like, oh, he looks younger than I remember thinking back then when I saw it, which does make me worry that he's going to be, obviously, and I mean, he is that much older in this new film, but that they've got some de-aging technology and stuff like that. I think they're going to be able to skirt around that a little bit in Dial of Destiny. It didn't make me, when I first watched this film, want to watch it again. I don't know if I ever would have watched it again. The first three films for me are by far the Indy that I love. I watch those movies on repeat. I even used to watch the Young Indiana Jones, the movies, and like some of those were also really good. and still kind of campy and a little bit silly, but still what felt like it lived in the element of the real, which I think is important still. You know, when you're watching Temple of Doom and you watch that guy's heart get ripped out, it still felt believable, unlike, as I said, watching him bounce through the field in a fridge and not die somehow.
Listen to what you guys are saying here, okay?
I get it. It's totally fine.
Ben just said a man's heart was ripped out and he survived. And he can't believe a
Kalima. They make him look at it.
It's the CG versus the practical effects that Zach was kind of saying, right? Maybe that's what makes
something about it. But you know
like
what?
The Uncanny Valley or something.
I would, if I had to still rate the film, I would still give it a 7 out of 10. I still enjoyed it as a film to watch, and I had a snack and I smoked one. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Dude, he was in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Real quick, we got 60 plus in the chat, and we got 9 people entered for this giveaway. It's a great giveaway for that Carnage regular. I put the link again one more time, so be sure to get those giveaway entries in. Marco, the choice is yours. Do you know what you want us to watch for the blockbuster movie of the week next week?
I do. So I will post on the Facebook group the final choice, but initially, and I want to see if Ben and Dean can stream this, 3 Ninjas. I would love to revisit that film.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah, that's just
the classic there.
It is a classic, and I'm sure it won't hold up, but that was a film that I loved as a kid.
It could hold up. I mean, I can see it holding up.
Where is that streaming?
Well, all right. I like your optimism. So let me check where it may be streaming at, and we'll figure out. So I'll post the final choice. I'll make a post so we can determine whether. Oh, Tubi. Oh my. Okay.
There you go. I guess I backed out of my slides.
Amazon, Instant Video, Google Play, iTunes, and Vudu.
Okay, we'll find a way. And if not, we'll go with a backup choice.
All right. So, Dean, we have some sweet angels that keep the network going. Can we shout these peoples out?
Yeah, give a shout out to Ian CB, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louie, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminators, Rob Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Gun Figs, Bad Fish, Toy Cartel, Sweet Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Krett, Big Ol' Fern, Cesar Marquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin, Bomonsky, Victor Gregorio, The Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Alan Morgan, Tukothri Watt, Derek B., Aries Fortillo, Mark Randolph, Elvin J., Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Don McDonald, Jimmy James, Stephen Purchase, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Parent, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. Wow. What the heck? You went early.
What the hell? I went at the right
time. He normally
time.
does.
Yeah, it was a premature horn there. May, June Patreon benefits. We have the Question of the Week sticker and the Spooderverse sticker. July, August, we got the Zach's Wonderland Crystal sticker, and we're working on the August still, so I don't have a slide for you just yet. Patreon starts at $5 a month for the digital tier, $7.50 for the sticker sent straight to your door, $15 for the figure fix assistance, and $25 for the doubles of all the stickers we send and the Pog Deluxe set. We have some great YouTube channel members: Absolute Irwin, Alvin J, Andre, Andres IB, Andrew Gibo, Benjamin Hansen, Big Ol' Fern, Blurred Dad Life, Bob Dylan, CC3PO, Chris V, Cram, CT603, DJ Daminator, Dante's Boneyard, Eclectic Collector, Equan, Fat Batman, Care Bear, Gotham Cenobites, Jake, Just Another Friday Night, Justin Sports Card, KJ Smith, LV Avenger 702, Mark Pearson, Eddie Money Mendez, Mr. Mom's Collectibles Knight, OG Fan, OMFG Rick, 1-6 Figure Focus, Paul Schreiber, Philip the Fool, S Beam, Sam Gist, Cypher, SpongeBob SquareBalls, Sunnyvale Russ, The Ben Thomas Show, Toy Cartel, and Zeke. Thank you guys for your YouTube channel membership. You can join that for 99 cents if you are a Patreon member, or $2.99 if you're not. You get loyalty badges, emojis, and member shoutouts. Taking a look at the network, we have After Dark tomorrow at 10:30. Thursday, we have Small Talk. Friday, we have a guest show. I'll bring that up in just a second. Saturday, we have Live and Let Dice episode 2, season 2. And, of course, throughout the week, you have Collecting Week Live Unboxing, Question of the Week on Sunday, OFAC alternating Thursdays, Reissue Monthly, OXPD bi-weekly. It just depends. There's a big update that just happened, so that may be sidelined for a bit. And Bricks and Brews. We also have TeePublic. It goes on sale, goes off sale. I would wait for a sale. And I will drop the link for you guys for TeePublic there. And then this Friday, we're very excited because we are launching a new partnership. And let me pull that up here. I thought I had it ready. I did not. We are launching a new partnership with Just Another Friday Night. You may have seen them interview Dean and I for the Toys That Made Us type podcast style that they did. They will be streaming Fridays at 7 p.m. Every Friday, at least for the moment, on our YouTube channel. Their regular show. It's a great program. They've been doing it for years. And I've always felt that the show that they put on does not reflect the number of people that watch it. And so wanted to help give them a boost, build our bros up. And so they'll be streaming on their channel and on our channel, dual streamed. Live Fridays, every Friday at 7 p.m. This Friday, they're talking Into the Spider-Verse, or Across the Spider-Verse, rather. So that'll be a great bit of content for the channel, and we look forward to having Adam and Chuck streaming with us on Fridays. So be sure to tune in Friday because they will likely have a bonus code as well. So there's that. But yeah, Marcos, big shout out for you for coming on tonight. I know, one, it was super generous that you were able to hook us up with that Carnage, but then you're like, hey, I want to be on the show, want to, talk to the people of the world. So we appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. So do you want to shout out your store one more time and your,
no.
Anything that you want?
This is your show, man. Screw my show. Screw my store. Forget it. It's there. If you want to see, if they want to know about it, come to me. Let's go.
There you go.
It's all about you guys, man. This show is really good. Really, really good show, man.
What a legend. Marco, Ben, do you guys have anything that you guys want to plug today?
I mean, my vote is that we get Marcos back more often. Love the energy, buddy. I had a great time with you on the show today. Definitely great perspectives. Shout out to my friend Han or Hannah that's been watching apparently the whole show.
Wow.
Love to see it.
Or Hannah?
Her name in the thing is Han, but it's Hannah. So, and then shout out to all the boys who joined me on Let's Get Nuts on Sunday. Great live show on the Ben Thomas Show. If you guys missed it, go check that out. Some really good takes. And of course, we're seeing that show come every week. So keep looking forward to that. Put it in your calendars. 3 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, Ben Thomas Show. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Wow. Marco, anything for you guys?
I just really quickly want to plug the spoiler cast that we did for Across the Spider-Verse yesterday. So it's on Collecting Weekly. It's on 16fix. Really fun conversation. We had Dean, we had Ben, we had Useby, we had Rainer. Really had a good time with that chat. So check it out if you haven't already and you've seen the film.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I love you guys. You guys are fantastic. I know, Marcos, you said, it's a waste of time. You could be doing other things with family, but really, all the people in the chat, all the people here, there are friends. There are friends, Marcos. We love these people.
I understand that you waste time.
No. I know what you meant.
That's why I appreciate it.
I'm just busting your bubble.
What a twist.
I will say this though. I will say this. No, I'm just messing with you. I will say this though. I have real life events happen, and I hear nothing from the people that I know in real life. I have real life happens, and I have so many people that are in these chats that check in, that chime in, and it's wonderful. I know, Ben, you talked about it recently, how much these online friends have meant to you recently, and yeah, you guys are all fantastic. And anyways, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Marco.
And I'm Ben.
I'm very honored to be on the show. Appreciate it, guys. There's so many people in chat that I know.
There we go. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Okay.
Bye.
still here. We're still live. Okay, bonus code for the people that are still here. Bonus code Dean's Buy. BY 3 E's. That's the bonus code.
Wait, is the bonus code Dean's Buy or just Buy?
Yeah, BYTEE.
Okay.
Bonus code : BYEEE. That's 4 entries today.